together. You guys are doing great with the new show, and I'm looking forward to getting back on Woodward and all the support that they've been. This has been our 3rd year that you guys are here, and I think it's growing. We love that you guys help us spread the message and kind of go from that.
Can I ask you were telling us before with Athletes Unlimited about the different pro athletes that have worked with it and kind of helped you out through the years and the different foundations within it. Can you talk about that a little bit, what you were telling us before?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've been the doc for a lot of athletes. I was with the Red Wings and all that. Every Red Wing's been here back in the day. Mac is obviously still very supportive. Braylon's very supportive. Every athlete that you could think about my first 10 years, because of my position with sports medicine, I didn't push them, but I really encouraged them all to come. And then we pretty much segued to, we were worried, was one of the guys going to show up today, have something else. And we really turned our athletes into our impaired athletes as the celebrities. And it was really well received. And that's really where we focus on. Having Jimmy here, he'll talk here in a minute. But we have every athlete from newly injured to Olympic level. And we feel the support of that is really what our basic foundation's for.
Let's talk about the guests. We're joined by 2 special guests. We'll get a chance to talk to them as well. I know we talked to Mario before, but I wanted to introduce myself. It's nice to meet you. Doctor was telling us a little bit about what you did. He said we got to see the scorecard. That's what he said. So let's get a chance to talk to Mario here, and we'll kind of go down the line. We're joined by Mario Dixon, Reimagine Life Foundation. And Mario, thank you for joining us.
Hey, good morning.
And we were talking a little bit before the show of kind of where the money's going and just the stuff that you guys do in the community. But can you talk about that for our audience that might not know?
Yes, Mario Dixon with Reimagine Life Foundation, one of the many charities that Dr. Pearson, Athletes Unlimited, we are a recipient of the funds that all the gracious donors give. Our program is basically a startup. We're housed in Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan in downtown Detroit Medical Center. And it's like ground zero for when a person just, have their injury, whether it's, you're paralyzed or limb loss or anything like that. So our program, we want to keep them active, not just physically but socially active, So we have programs, starting off we have adaptive bowling. We have a wheelchair basketball team that Dr. Pearson, Athletes Unlimited, helps with. Track and field, we have some athletes that were able to participate in the national and Paralympic games, due to the funding, and also some of the youth through college scholarships that is provided through Athletes Unlimited also. So I've been in the position, like I said, it'll be 25 years next year. So I've known Jeff, that long, and he's been helping us out, not only him, but everybody, that's golfing in this tournament. I've known they've watched kids grow up and be grown men now and be very successful because of, this golf outing.
And then for the people watching too, one thing we like to do is how can kind of people help or get involved. For people that want to get involved but don't know how to get involved, can you talk more about that?
Continue to support Athletes Unlimited.
There you go.
Dr. Pearson, the golf outing, and also they do Top Golf also too. This, was it twice a year?
Yeah, the first Thursday in November.
Got it.
Yeah.
First Thursday in November, he said.
Yeah.
Twice a year.
About Woodward Sports, how to donate and stuff like that.
Perfect.
So we'll get that, stick and the guys will get that stuff on there.
Perfect.
So, enough with the old guy. Here's the young stud right here, Jimmy
There you go, Mario
right
Dixon
here.
joining us.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
No problem. Let's talk to the man himself. How are you doing today, man? It's good to talk to you. Good to finally meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys. Thanks for having me on. This is like always a full circle moment. My first ever basketball team, I played with Mario. Dr. Pierce helped me back in the day when I was, 18, 19 years old, trying to get me to play college basketball. And then today, just yesterday, I got back from a golf tournament. So I've been active.
And let's talk about that golf tournament. Tell the people, because we were talking a little bit before.
What the scorecard look like.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
So it was the Ohio Adaptive Open. It was their 4th year. I think the field was about 40 players, which is pretty decent size. I finished first in my division. This is seeded players. I have a spinal cord injury, so I'm a seated player is what it's called. But this unit lets me stand up. It's really cool, and the bag's usually right here, but I had to squeeze through all this stuff. I had the second best round of my life yesterday. It was on track for first best, but I struggled towards the end there. So I was 1 under through 11, and then started bogeying and stuff. So, but ended up with a 76 and finished top 5 in the tournament, which was really cool.
76.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
I mean, you are the real. You are proof, man. You are living proof. I mean, me and him are trying to break 90, so it's,
76.
it shows that it's
anything for.
Yeah, yeah. It really does. And can you tell people just your story?
Yeah,
I think that's where people can the why.
Yeah, absolutely. I was in a car accident when I was 17 years old. I fell asleep at the wheel. Very lucky to be alive. I mean, the way my car was smashed and whatnot was. I'm just very blessed to be here. Like Mario said, these programs where you get to meet and see people in similar situations, it just really helps out. Helps you kind of know what's out there, helps you kind of grow and just adapt, So I'm blessed. I have a 4-year-old daughter now. I'm married. I'm playing sports. I have a full-time job. I'm out there doing the thing, So you can't let it stop you. You just got to keep moving on. You can, I've met people that unfortunately, they get a little bit down. They don't know what to do with their lives. They don't feel like they fit in, that sort of stuff. But once you kind of break through that barrier and kind of just learn, that life goes on, you can really do anything. So
it's wonderful. It's a great story. I mean, we go to break. I'm glad we got to talk to you guys and kind of understand for our audience at home, Woodward Sports, all hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers across all platforms. You see the living proof. You see the impact in the community. Again, Athletes Unlimited, the charity golf outing. We're here. We're going to be doing our show here. Great. It's a beautiful day. They're about to kick off actually soon. I think the tee times, they're already at 11 o'clock. So we got to get out of here.
7 minutes over for the tee time.
Yeah, we're holding everything up over here, but we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.
Can we ask you about, you said about Skubal. Talk about Skubal a little bit.
I was a huge fan. I congratulations to LA. They have the best chance of three-peating. But as far as that elbow, in Detroit when he was here, I know with our backing and the medical team that we would have here for him, he was for sure not going to have an issue. Out in LA, I'm not betting on him anymore. That elbow may not hold up. So,
were you able to hear the stuff about this January where he said he was feeling some sort of pain in his elbow?
Yeah.
Kinda, I don't want to say he hit it, but he said subconsciously I didn't want to bring it up because of arbitration, because of everything going on. Do you think that was an issue? Do you think if he would have gotten that elbow done and looked at earlier that this whole thing wouldn't have happened throughout the last 2 months?
I think he's a very intelligent person to keep it the way he did.
Yeah.
I came out, I think, publicly that I feel he's going to be fine, that he was being overly cautious because of that, because of what's at stake for him. So I think by sitting it down, double-checking, that's really what he was doing. I mean, he's had the surgeries. I think he's stronger. His mechanics are great. He's just a pure pitcher, pure thrower. I don't wish any ill, but, without him being here at the Tigers, I'll cheer for him from afar. But, he's pretty good.
And last one, I do want to get your thoughts. An athlete who was here in Detroit, Kirby Joseph. It seems like every time we try and get a diagnosis, it's never positive because it seems like it's an injury that's going to be lingering. And it's something that he's going to have to play through or at least deal with permanently, it seems like. But your professional kind of diagnosis on it. It stinks as a Lions fan.
Yeah, not to cut you off. I got golf today. I can't get into Kirby. this is way too much.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, if you go back to my clips, I was pro, and then I'm going neutral now. Not that I'm on the other side,
right.
But I'm not. I love to give the fans the glass half full. I'll work on figuring out how to make that glass half full right now.
I was just going to ask you, is the guy's career over? I mean, I know that's a big loaded question, man.
If he kind of took our advice of what to do at the beginning, not to get into it deep, he's kind of following, let's do the conservative route, but he's not matching it with all the technology that's out there. He's using stuff that, he's doing the PR, he's trying to do the biologics, but he's not doing it in a systematic way. And I don't know who's advising him right now. And if he shows up, then, I'll be happy to say he did do it the right way. But right now the process is a little bit slower than if he was in our clinic right now. So that's the most politically correct way.
Yeah, you're good at this. You are really good at this. Dr. Pierce, Athletes Unlimited. We're here at the Oak Point Country Club out here in Brighton. We appreciate you having us out. It's a blast, and we love being out here. Let's take a quick break. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes.
We'll see you guys on the course after.
Yes.
There you go.
All right, thanks, guys.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
It's game on at Art and Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art and Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
And we're back. It's crunch time here at Woodward Sports. We're at the Oak Point Country Club for the Athletes Unlimited golf outing. We got to speak with Dr. Pierce, who's obviously a friend of the network, does a great job, and Mario Dixon and Jimmy, just proof that the foundation is doing great things. We do have a lot to get to today. Tarik Skubal was traded over the weekend. We're going to talk about that. Lions training camp is happening as we speak. News, updates, things are coming out. We're going to talk about that.
What a
Devin
big
White
weekend, by the way.
is a Detroit Lion. We're going to talk about that. So a lot to get into for this show. But we are back. Booner, Jeff, Caleb Czarnik, we got Bomber, we got Stick here visiting the fellas as well. How are we feeling? Now we got a chance to just kind of talk about the weekend. One heck of a weekend in Detroit sports.
Detroit sports has been crazy. You have Tarik Skubal, obviously traded on Saturday. I woke up. I think it was Friday night. The crazy thing is you guys know this. I stay up a little late for socials and different things.
Yeah.
One of the first nights in months that I fell asleep at maybe 10 o'clock, 10:30, woke up at 8 a.m. to over 300 messages, and Tarik Skubal was a Dodger, and I was shocked. And then obviously the Devin White news, the Rocket Classic this weekend. It was a packed weekend, honestly, in Detroit sports. It really was.
Yeah, the Saturday night, I'm sitting there, I'm putting together a new desk, not even on my phone. Not even worried about it. Saturday night, we had the Rocket. We went to Shot Rocket Classic, by the way. Me and Booner were there in attendance. It was amazing for kind of this on the media side. So that was an awesome event. But I'm sitting there. I checked my phone after like an hour. I got 300 missed texts from like all these group chats. Tarik Skubal's traded, and we could just dive into it, kind of what the Tarik Skubal trade was. So he was traded to the Dodgers. I know social media was freaking out about it. So if you look at the actual trade package, we were talking about this before too, but you got prospects in return. So that's what people wanted. Obviously, the headliner of that package, Zaire Hope, who is that's the guy. Like that's the guy. That's your number one prospect now. That's the guy that you're probably Scott Harris is looking at. Is like, okay, if this return ends up looking really, really good, that's the kid that's going to flourish here with the Detroit Tigers. Now, Max Clark is up. He's probably going to remain up, so Hope becomes your number one prospect at that point. They also got two pitchers. One's like a 27-year-old rookie, basically.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, which he's someone that has shown some flashes, kind of dealt with injuries. It's Rivers, which they got in that package as well. And then they got one more player in that package as well, another pitcher. So, mixed opinions I've seen online, like the ESPN gave the Tigers like a D for the return. I disagree with that. I think if you look at a multitude of factors, one of them being, Skubal has no team control after this year as a free agent, so the Dodgers are going to get, a handful of starts before the end of the year. Obviously for them, it makes a lot of sense. They're dealing with some injuries as well. So for them, Tarik Skubal is a home run. And for the Tigers, I think you got the best probably package you could have gotten. And if you wanted prospects, the Dodgers were the team to try and work out a deal with. So I actually like this return. I don't know what fans were really expecting to get based on like the negative vibes I've been getting, but I also seen a lot of Tigers fans appreciate the package and be like, hey, it is what it is. You know, we can look at, hey, you wanted a bigger return, but the reality of it though, Boone, was you're in these situations, you're never going to get a 1-for-1. You're never going to get a return worthy of a 2-time Cy Young winner. You're just not.
I mean, realistically though, like the way people have to look at it is he was a 3 to 4 month rental, right? Like if he was a 2-year deal, if it was a Tarik Skubal on a big 2-year deal, he had 2 years left on his contract, and they were about to get him for a few years. Yeah, you probably could go out there and get better prospects for him. But you would have to think, like, from what you got, Zaire Hope. I actually said it last week when people were bringing up the Dodgers. Zaire Hope was a name that kept popping up. And I said, hey, if you are going to trade Tarik Skubal, that needs to be the guy. Like, you need to at least at minimum get a Zaire Hope. Get someone that comes into your kind of throughout your minor league system that's a top prospect instantly. Outside of Max Clark, it's Zaire Hope now. Right, like Max Clark now is up in the majors. Zaire Hope is your number one guy in the pipeline. So you got a dude. It's not like you got a scrub. Now, does he still have to go out there and perform and kind of develop into that piece that's worth trading for Tarik Skubal? Yeah, he is, because I keep seeing on Twitter. I posted, and I was like, hey, I want to ask the baseball sickos, the diehards, and our guy Raj. I tagged him in. I wanted to get his thoughts. Like, did we get fleeced? Where are we at with this? And even he said, like, hey, man, like, Zaire Hope was the guy that everyone wanted. But there were some people who commented and said, hey, back when we traded Justin Verlander, Jake Rogers was the Zaire Hope at that time.
Yep.
And he was the guy that everyone looked at and was like, oh, he's going to be good. Now we just saw a week ago Jake Rogers got DFA'd, and he's no longer even on the Tigers. And he wasn't even your future catcher at that point. So obviously, you never know what's going to happen with some of these minor league players. You don't. But you have to get a package, right? And you couldn't just sit here. And I've had this conversation a million times to where I told Caleb and KG this. If you, like, no matter what, Skubal had to go. Even if you wanted to buy at the deadline, Skubal had to go. The only way Tarik Skubal stayed a Detroit Tiger was if there was a long-term contract in place, and it was either going to get signed today or it was going to get signed at the end of the season. And you knew for sure that it was locked in. But you had to get something for him instead of a comp pick. So with the package they have, the only pushback I will have, and I actually saw Ben Verlander tweet this out this last weekend, is when they did the trade. If you knew you had a package of Zaire Hope, River Ryan, and who's the other guy?
Brady Smith.
Brady Smith. If you had a package of those three guys, if you knew, hey, this is on the table on Friday, right? If you're the Tigers and you're Scott Harris, you push this thing all the way until Monday at 5 p.m., and you take that package that the Dodgers gave you and you go to the Yankees and say, hey, can you beat this package? You go to the Brewers, hey, can you beat this package? You play the game a little bit. You don't pull the trigger 4 days before the trade deadline. You go out there, you play the game, you play the leverage game, you try and increase that package, because if the Brewers would come out or if the Yankees would come out and give you X, and X that's that much better, then guess what you do? You go back to the Dodgers and say, hey, instead of Zaire Hope and River Ryan, we want another pitcher that's better than River Ryan. We want another player that's, and we want to increase this offer.
Yep.
So there is a side of, hey, as a GM, you really do want to play that game, and I get it. That might have been, maybe it was the best deal. But guess what, guys? The Dodgers desperately wanted Tarik Skubal. If they wanted to get this deal done on Friday, Saturday, that's what they would have done, guys. They would have gotten this deal done Monday at 5 p.m. to get Tarik Skubal on the Detroit Tigers or on the Dodgers. The Tigers had the top two pitchers on the trade market going into Monday. They did. They have Casey Mize and Tarik Skubal. They held the leverage. So that was the only pushback that I had. I was shocked it got done on Friday/Saturday. I thought they would have pushed this thing all the way till Monday, and I thought when it came Monday, then that Skubal thing gets done. I was shocked that it got done as early as it did. That's literally the only pushback, though. I like the package. I know you had to get that package. If I was just in Scott Harris's position, I would have leveraged Friday and Saturday into my favor to go get a little bit of a bit better package, if I could have. Right? Like, you at least want to try and say, hey, I tried to go get a bigger package.
Yeah, the thing I'll say about that is maybe the indication from the Brewers and the Yankees and teams like that is they didn't want to play ball. Because the Dodgers, I mean, I know you look at the organization, Zaire Hope, he's not even top 3 in the organization. They gave a lot up for Skubal. Zaire Hope has been raking in AA. This is a prospect that for a lot of years people were very, very excited about. River Ryan has MLB experience. He's a little bit older, but, I mean, he could contribute. He could be your fourth or fifth guy in the rotation. I personally, look, I'll just start by saying this. It sucks that Tarik Skubal is no longer a Detroit Tiger. He was a guy that gave so much to this organization. Every time he was on the mound, he put you in the best position to win, so it sucks that we had to do this. But you could blame Skubal, you could blame Boris, you could blame Scott Harris, you can blame Chris Illich, you could blame whoever you want. This is a move that needed to be done for both sides because you're not re-signing him for $400 million in the offseason, and you're probably not going to win a World Series this year, so what's the point of hanging on to him? But personally, I don't hate the package. I don't know if people were expecting the centerpiece of the trade to be an MLB-ready player. That was never, ever going to be the case. That's not how Scott Harris operates. We could tell he likes to build that farm system, and now with Max Clark coming up, that farm system kind of looks a little bit weaker, so you bring in Zaire Hope. I personally like the package.
Well, I'll run through so people get a context of where these guys kind of rank. So Hope was ranked as the number 5th prospect in the Dodgers pipeline. He was the number 25th. He was number 25 in baseball by MLB pipeline. River Ryan, was ranked as the 7th top prospect in the Dodgers system, 68th overall, and Brady Smith was the 17th prospect with the Dodgers. So you basically got, just in the Dodgers pipeline,
three of their top
17.
And in other organizations, those are top 3 guys.
By the way, the Dodgers organization, their pipeline, their minor league system, their farm system is the best in baseball. Like, I know a lot of people, and this is kind of a little bit of a pushback when people go at the Dodgers and be like the salary cap. Like, yeah, that's a thing. I was actually looking last night at their deferred money. It's insane how much money they're deferring, and they're paying all the way through like 2047. But realistically, they have the best farm system, and they're elite at developing. So when you do get guys from the Dodgers, you kind of do trust a little bit. Hey, that there are dudes. I will say this, guys. I understand some people's pushbacks with the pitchers of if the Dodgers are willing to just part ways with some of these guys, they're probably in a farm system that really knows what they're doing. They probably see something that maybe you don't, and they're like, hey, these guys aren't as good as they seem out to be, and they're ranked. That's just in my thought process. Like, I kind of try and look at it the opposite way as well. Like, why would they be just so willing to give up these guys? Obviously for Skubal, but what about the other pitchers? Like, they're keeping some other guys. So there is a side of that where it's like, hey, like a River Ryan. Like, why are they so willing? The injuries, this, that.
Yeah,
he was bad in the
Tommy
playoffs.
John, I think he had
Tommy
as well.
John. So, like, there is a reason why they are willing to give up some of these guys, and there's a question mark, right? Like, this thing has to play out to see if Scott Harris got a good deal. I don't know if right now you could be like, yeah, that's an A+ deal. I think you sit there and you go, yeah, okay, it's a C or a B grade of a trade, and it's because in baseball you have to wait and see. And I think as Tigers fans, you should feel the same way because of the Jake Rogers and the Verlander trade, to where you see, like, firsthand, this is what happens. A guy can be very, very highly doubted and be a top 5 prospect in baseball, and not a lot of them always work out. It happens all the time. I just went back and looked at the 2020 Detroit Tigers pipeline. Dude, we had barely any of those guys even make it out. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, but you have to just kind of let the time tell what happens with this trade.
Yeah.
You're buying lottery tickets. That's what you're doing.
I mean, and that's why, like, me and Sean were in lockstep with that. I think Sean brought that up. I was listening to Big D last week, and he was saying how he would rather have a trade happen, obviously for a multitude of reasons, but the big reason was even if you're getting prospects and, you know, the maybe that these guys do work out, like, yeah, you don't know at the end of the day, but the reality is you're taking more swings at it than if you were to get, like, a comp pick. There's so much unknown there. At least it's still kind of unknown, but you have a better idea of what kind of player you're getting back. Like, you kind of have more of a sense of an idea. So listen, we all wanted Tarik Skubal to get traded. Obviously, we'd all like him to resign, but that wasn't the case. So you wanted him to be dealt. He got dealt. We had the conversation, will he be dealt? He got dealt. And I think the return, again, based on all the factors we talked about, you know, he doesn't have no team control after this year. He's a free agent. Will the Dodgers re-sign him? Probably, but even if that's not the case, he is a rental, and he's probably going to pitch, I don't know, how many innings do you think he gets with the Dodgers?
I mean, not many. And if you think about
so, for the return you got, like, I'm cool with it if people are upset with it. Again, you can't – it's like having the cake and wanting to eat it too. It's like, well, then what did you want?
Yeah, I mean, by the way, he was, like you said, he's always getting traded. Like,
it was going to
honestly,
happen.
Let me walk that back a little bit. If that 7-0 lead on last Wednesday doesn't happen,
he was still getting traded.
I disagree.
I mean, they got it done early. They got it done 3 days before the trade deadline, so you know there was trades
But you
in
know
place.
when that happened, because there was all the reports saying no, they haven't spoke with anyone. They have not reached out. They didn't speak with anyone until about Thursday, Friday. They probably already knew kind of what the deals were going to be and had an idea, but they never really, like other teams were saying, hey, we haven't spoke with Scott Harris. We don't know. That didn't happen until after that 7-0 blown lead.
Yeah.
Once that 7-0 blown lead happened, guess what happened the very next night, or very next morning, early in the morning? There was a report. Tigers have finally started to talk to people.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the turning point. So I think if they win that 7-0 lead and then you go and sweep the A's the way you did, you're, a game and a half back now. Scott Harris is he's a guy that he's going to do what he wants. I truly do believe if that 7-0 blown lead didn't happen, Skubal is a Tiger right now, and they're probably buying, they're reaching out, they're probably giving up prospects to go out and get players today before 6 o'clock, and they're a game and a half out of first or out of the wild card right now. But that happened, and it did, and you have to kind of take that into account. Now, I will say this, hand up. I told Jeff I was going to. Hand up show. I told Jeff I was going to say this from yesterday, and he said, Booner, you were one of those ones. So, yes, I was one of those ones. I kind of feel bad for Tarik Skubal.
Uh-oh.
I watched after the Tigers game, and when he did get traded, there was the whole locker room conversation with him. I truly believe after watching that post-game stuff with Skubal, I think he wanted to be a Tiger for life, and I don't think it was a question. And I did say, stop talking, Tarik, and I still believe that. Shouldn't have been in the media talking what he was, but I think the reason he was doing it was because he's so dead set on, like, I want to be in Detroit forever. Like, I don't want to leave here. And then once you saw the kind of the emotion, like, I wanted to win here, because realistically, like, he didn't come out and he wasn't like, I want to get out. I want to trade. We've seen people in this city request trades. Matthew Stafford, Dylan Larkin. Skubal is like the one athlete that's the best at what he does, and he publicly said, I want to stay here. I don't want to be traded. I want to win a World Series here. I want to compete here. And when it happened, what was it, Friday night or Saturday? When was the trade? Friday night?
Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
That video of him, like, emotional, you could definitely tell that hit kind of a little bit of a tough spot, and he was like, this is actually happening. And you could tell he did not want to go to L.A. He didn't want to do anything. He wanted to stay in that clubhouse with the Detroit Tigers. So that, I feel bad for him because I know how bad it now after that. And I felt like maybe as a fan base, I get you had to trade him. People are like victory lapping and mad at Skubal right now. There's just no way you can be, man. The guy wanted to be here and he wanted to win here.
I'm not mad, but I also don't feel bad. I mean, this guy's going to make $1 bazillion in free agency, so I don't necessarily feel bad. Yeah, he probably wanted to be here, but he's setting himself up to make $1 gazillion in the offseason. But it was always going to be the Dodgers. It was always going to be the LA Dodgers because, okay, let's say even if they didn't need him, right? They have an amazing pitching rotation already. You know, they have guys coming back from injury, Blake Snell, all these guys. Yamamoto, who's probably the third best starter in the MLB. But why would the Dodgers risk the Brewers trading for him and then the Dodgers have to face Tarik Skubal a couple times in the playoffs? Like that, it was always going to be the LA Dodgers. They had the assets to do it. And people don't like the Dodgers but I don't understand why. Everybody in the MLB had the opportunity to trade for Tarik Skubal, and they did it. Everybody in the MLB has the opportunity to sign guys like Kyle Tucker and these guys in the offseason, and the Dodgers actually do it. So the Dodgers are getting a lot of crap, and I don't understand why. I mean, this puts them over the edge for World Series favorites.
Do we think, by the way, is there a world where Chris Ilitch, Scott Harris had back-end conversations with Skubal?
The Flaherty?
Like, hey, the Flaherty situation. And essentially, the Flaherty situation where it's like, hey, we are going to trade you. Like, we can get Zaire Hope, who could potentially be a starter for you in the future, even up to next year? Like, he could get pulled up. So, like, what if they're like, hey, we could add more pieces to this lineup, and we could re-sign you this offseason. You're just going to have to miss the 4 months with us.
Well, we got a super chat from Michael Weir. He says, do you think the Tigers offer Scoobs in free agency?
I think they do.
I don't think they do.
I just wonder if Skubal feels a little like stabbed in the back from them actually trading him. Like we don't. This is the tough part about the situation. We don't know what the conversations were like in the front office with him. But he could have been in the light of everything, but based off of him in the media and all the stuff he was saying, I felt like he was left in the dark. So you would think a player like that might feel a little like, I don't know, sideswiped by the situation.
I mean, I'll just say it. There is a 0.0% chance Tarik Skubal is a Detroit Tiger next year.
That's the worst.
It's the worst
take
what?
you've
No,
ever had.
you think there's a chance that Tarik Skubal is a
Yes,
Detroit?
they're going to have conversations.
Booner, that's the
this
worst take
offseason.
you've ever had.
They literally just did it with Jack Flaherty 2 years ago.
You're comparing Jack Flaherty to
You don't
Tarik
think the
Skubal?
Tigers are going to put an offer sheet on the table this offseason? You are crazy.
And it's going to be $20 million less than
But
Dodgers
0.0 means they don't even give an offer sheet, Caleb.
0.0.
You know statistics?
There's
Did you
a
take statistics in high school?
All right, so what percentage do you think that Tarik Skubal is going to be a D?
5%?
That is bananas. You're living in a bizarre
No,
world.
because they're going to offer
You did
him
all that for 5%.
Yes, 0.0 means they're not even going to offer
Okay,
him.
we're
They're
the-
going to put an offer sheet on the table.
I mean,
for
that's
the guy.
bananas.
Do you think it'll be competitive?
It'll be like, let's say there's 10
That's
teams.
the question.
Hold on, there's 10 teams that put an offer sheet out for him, right?
What do you think
They'll
they rank?
probably be like 6 or 7.
Okay, then there you go. He's not coming back.
That's
here.
fair.
There's no way.
But 0.0, come on, man.
I mean, is this guy on Mars?
And if the guy, listen, if the guy, hold on, no, I'm not on Mars. I'm on planet Earth in a beautiful.
We're actually at Oak
golf
Point Country
course.
Club.
Oak Point Country Club, Caleb, not Mars.
True.
Listen, the emotional interview that I saw, if he cares that much about Detroit and the Tigers organization, that man, his percentage is about 20%. Like if he's considering it.
Dude, come on. Come on, Booner.
This isn't like a Matthew Stafford or a Dylan Larkin situation. The guy was crying because he didn't want to be traded. He was bawling his eyes out because he wants to stay in Detroit.
It's not. Then why was his agent throwing a bunch of smoke screens throughout the entire season?
Because you got to pay the guy what he's worth. You got to pay him his money. They weren't
and
offering him that.
they're not going to do it in the offseason.
But what if
so
they
why is
do?
he coming? If they aren't going to do it in the offseason, why would
let me talk
do
to the
now?
people real quick. You guys want a crazy scenario? Do you guys want something crazy scenario? Are you ready for this? Guess what happens this next year? There might be a lockout. Guess why? Because people want a salary cap. And if this offseason a salary cap comes in play, guess who can't sign with the Los Angeles Dodgers?
But you can get a deal done before the lockout happens.
But what if it doesn't get done? There's a cap hit. Guess what the Tigers do? Awesome, cap hit. Let's offer Tarik what he's worth now.
He's going to get a deal done before the lockout happens, dude. There's
no, he's not.
What's less
no,
than
he's not.
negative? There's a negative percent that Tarik
there's
Skubal's
no
a
way
Tiger.
he does.
Let's take a break. Let's get to some Detroit Lions. By the way, let's do Mad Packs because we'll do Mad Packs because I do want to tell the people about Mad Packs because
Detroit Dabber said, "Booner, you just eat up all the theatrics from Skubal." I did both ways, to be honest, because when he wouldn't stop talking in the media, I said, "Hey, I'm out on the guy," because he wouldn't stop talking. I hate when stuff like athletes can say what they want, dude. You're hurting the team talking, and he was doing that. And then after this happens, he got emotional, started crying. I almost started crying, man.
Okay,
he's got you right where he wants.
Let's get to break. We'll get to some Detroit Lions training camp. Devin White, we're going to get to as well. So a lot of Lions to get to. Let me tell you about our friends over at Mad Packs, guys. Mad Packs. Let me tell you something special here about Mad Packs. All right, the Boom Chakalakas, by the way, Spenny's been talking these things up. They're real. Mad Packs does a great job. The high-low pre-rolls, the extracts, featuring items options like Galactic Candy, live resin. Shout out to Mad Packs. We got to talk to the guys over at Mad Packs a couple weeks ago at another golf outing we went to, and they're the best in the business. So please go support Mad Packs, Boom Shakalaka, whatever you prefer. They got it. So they do an excellent job. We'll see you guys in a couple minutes after the break. You're watching Crunch Time here on Woodward Sports.
Dan Campbell is in redemption mode.
No, make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
And Woodward Sports is here to cheer on the Detroit Lions every snap. Don't miss a moment of Detroit Lions coverage. Follow Woodward Sports on all social media platforms now.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Some days call for light, others lean bold. What about everything in between? All Day IPA, the easy choice for every day. Citrusy, crisp, refreshing. Flavor you can float with. Light on the hops, big on refreshment. One's great. Two, even better. Brewed with you in mind. No shortcuts, no fuss. Big on flavor, never too much. All Day IPA. Hop into easy.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Jameer Gibbs. Breakout season loading.
Inside the 5, Gibbs to the end zone. Touchdown!
Woodward Sports, the most dominant Detroit sports coverage around.
2.
And we're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports at the Oak Point Country Club for the Athletes Unlimited charity golf outing. Jeff Iafrate, Booner, Caleb Czarnik. We got a packed show. Talk Tarik Skubal getting traded. A lot of Detroit Lions. Obviously, Detroit Lions training camp is happening. And on top of that, the Lions made a signing over the weekend because Jimmy Rolder is going to be out some time. With it seems like a hamstring is what he's dealing with right now, which, is not good. He'll be able to play at some point this year, which is good news. And they're obviously excited about Jimmy Rolder. But even more fans right now are excited about Devin White, okay? Because he signed a 1-year deal with the Detroit Lions, and he was on the Raiders last season. And if you go and check the numbers, obviously the numbers are the numbers. I mean, he had, 95 solo tackles, which ranked third in the NFL, and 174 total tackles, 2.5 sacks, a forced fumble, and interception. He's been on 3 different teams in the last 3 years. He was with Tampa for a while. Obviously won a Super Bowl, was a big part of what they were doing early on in Tampa. He's a former top 5 pick, but he just hasn't really been able to find a home over the last 2 years. Was with Houston, played 7 games, went to Las Vegas, played 17 games. And I think the Lions very simply are signing Devin White for some linebacker depth. And, he is someone that I think fits what they want to do. The way Devin White plays football aligns with what the Detroit Lions want to do. Okay, that's fair. If you watch Devin White tape, which I've been able to do, we were talking about the signing. And, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, Devin White, I like it. Another guy in the room that can compete. I'm not going to jump up and down and say, this is Devin White in 2019, when he was a rookie or a second-year player. But he is someone that plays sideline to sideline. He is someone that plays high-intensity football, like aggressive, shedding blocks. He's best suited kind of rushing the passer as well. He's really good at that, shedding blocks and trying to get after the quarterback, make plays in the backfield. There are some things that he does that maybe he does not do very, very well, which is how the Lions are going to want to use him. For example, he's not a guy who's going to drop back in coverage, and do that type of stuff. I think he was up there and missed tackles last year, which is kind of ironic because he has a ton of tackles. We were talking about that. So, there's a reason you signed him on a 1-year deal and we're in August. He's someone that isn't Devin White of 5-6 years ago. But he has depth in the room, and they do need someone in there that has played football, a lot of football, but on top of that has won a Super Bowl. So I do like the experience from that side. I do like the way he plays. I think there's a spot for him. I just want to see how this kind of translates as we get into the season. Because if you want to roll 2 linebackers, for example, Devin White and Jack Campbell, if there's times you have 3 linebackers and you need a Sam linebacker, I think he fits kind of the Sam role because, like I said, he can rush the passer, shed blocks, downhill guy. There's probably going to be opportunities where Devin White can make some plays there.
Yeah.
But other than that, I just don't really see a big role for Devin White. I just don't.
I don't know about that. I don't know about not a big role. I think he's going to have a role on this football team. Now,
you think it's a big role?
I think it's going to be and this is where I kind of went with it. I think it's going to be like a Derek Barnes last year role. He's not going to be, and I see a lot of people being like, well, the age difference from him and Anzo and what he's done, it's an upgrade from Anzo.
Which is insane.
That's where, and at first I had the same thought process. I even texted in our group chat and said, wow, this is an Anzo upgrade. And then you kind of broke it down a little bit, and then you start looking deeper, and you go his coverage grade last year, right? Anzo was your coverage linebacker. His coverage grade was a 36.1, which was 79th out of 88 linebackers in the NFL.
Almost last.
Almost dead last. He was bottom 10 out of 88 linebackers in coverage last year. So that's a concern, right? So I think there is a side of this thing to where, yeah, he isn't the same linebacker as he was back in 2021. He's not that coverage guy that everyone's kind of saying he is. That's just not his game. But to be honest, when you look more into it, though, I just look at it as more so depth. If you want to go PFF with Devin White, fine. But, go look throughout his whole career. In PFF, he's never been a highly graded player. He was an all-pro, I think, in 2020, and he was bottom half in the NFL in PFF in 2020. So, he was never a highly doubted player per PFF and all of those different analytics and everything. But what he does is he just brings a different edge to your defense. Now, if you saying, hey, he's not going to have a big role, no, he's going to get in here and he's going to have a good role on this defense.
What does that mean, though?
He's going to play probably
you're
along.
Tiptoeing around.
Well,
it.
you're going to have
you're
going to have injuries. He's not going to have a Jack Campbell role, but he's going to be there. It's going to be him and Derek Barnes competing for that number 2 spot and that second spot, and then that Sam linebacker spot. You're either moving Derek Barnes over and you're throwing Devin White next to Jack, or vice versa. So now your top 3 linebackers in this room is Jack Campbell, Devin White, and Derek Barnes. That's a pretty good 3, because you don't need Devin White, and this is where I think people kind of, and you misinterpret a little bit when people get excited about it. It's no one's asking Devin White to come in and be the all-pro Devin White. That is why you have Jack freaking Campbell, is so you have that all-pro guy in the building. Devin White, you need him in there for one, experience. He's been to a Super Bowl. He works his tail off. He's a grit guy. He's a Dan Campbell type of guy. If you watch his interview, you could just tell the type of mindset that he has. He doesn't care about his tackles. Like he even said in his interview, he's like, dude, I don't care that I had 170-something tackles last year. He's like, I could care less. What I care about is that we lost almost every game in Las Vegas last year. And he's like, I hate losing football games. So you have a guy that's coming in to help you win. And he literally has said, I will do everything. Now, does he miss tackles? Yeah. Is he perfect right now? No, you're not. Again, you're not getting the Devin White of his prime, the best Devin White we've seen. But the bad Devin White, guess what? I'll say it's probably better than a Rodrigo or a Trevor Nowaski. Like, that's a fact. So you can't say that talent-wise. You have an upgrade talent-wise in that room, and you have a really good top 3 linebackers in this room.
I think, okay, first, Boone, I don't know if you meant he's not competing with Derek Barnes.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I love
well,
waiting
no,
for you to finish. But
I'm saying it's going to be
your top 2 are secure.
Depending on the formations you're in, you're going to throw one of them at Sam, right? If you're in that scheme. So it's like, oh, maybe Derek Barnes last year played Sam for you in the last 2 years. Throw Derek Barnes there and then throw Devin White where Barnes is.
I think what they think of Derek Barnes when he's like lining up on the edge and doing stuff like that, I don't think that Derek Barnes did a great job of that. I think he's probably better suited.
But he's probably the best on your team, though.
No, I think Devin White's actually probably better at lining up on the edge.
But that's what I'm saying.
Like
I said vice versa. Either you throw him at the Sam.
Regardless, though, like he's going to be someone that will compete. Who he's competing with is like Malcolm and Trevor Nowaski. Like that's who he's competing with. Like Derek Barnes and Jack are already secured. Those are your top 2 linebackers.
You can't tell me they're going to be. He's not better than both of those guys. And I'm a Trevor.
Better than who?
Trevor and
no, I'm not saying. I'm just saying he's competing with those guys. I mean, if you want to call him better, it's fine. But we know what 2 linebackers are on the field most of the time. It's Derek and Jack. Yeah. That's why I'm surprised you disagree with my point about his big role. I just don't he's not going to have a big role. For a big role, he'd have to be better than Derek Barnes.
But no,
that's a big role.
But look at this. Hold on a second.
Because they're going to run a lot of nickel. They might run some base this year, and maybe in base you have Devin White out there. But he's going to be someone that he's a role player. That's what he is. That's what he'll be for you. In spots he plays, but he's not.
I think he's going to have, and we can even make a bet. I think he'll have over 500 snaps on this defense. He had 1,100 last year with the Raiders.
I'd have to see the snaps thing. I got to dive in it. My point is big role.
I think you're undervaluing what he can bring to this team because you don't you think that he misses tackles, he's washed. I don't think that. I think he's been in a situation like he was washed last year missing tackles on the Raiders defense.
Well, no, he was missing tackles the year prior. And the year prior,
I think, but you put him in a position to be successful and a good ball club with a good defense, and give him an opportunity with a good environment and a winning football team. I think he can help you out. I don't think he's just going to bum. When you say he's not going to have a big role, I'm not saying you're saying he's a bum, but that's where it's
just what it is.
You lean towards more side he's a bum, which he's not. Even if he's tough in coverage and all these. A bum's not getting 170 tackles.
You're using bum. All I'm saying is if they run a lot of nickel, you have 2 linebackers on the field. Jack and Derek. If they're running base and they want a Sam out there, there's opportunity for Devin White to be out there. But I don't know how. I think they're going to try and run a lot of nickel this year. That's where I'm saying, can he? Is there a spot for him somewhere? Yes. Yeah, but I just don't think it's anything.
In the chat here, someone said people are expecting him to be an Anzo replacement. That's where I'll agree with you. Where he's not an Anzo replacement. That's not that. That's more so Derek Barnes and Jack. That's what that is. But he's your third guy. We see all the time that there's injuries on the linebacker.
Yeah,
court.
He's good.
He's going to be a valuable piece. He's just because he doesn't have a Jack Campbell role. I'm not sitting here saying that the guy's going to be a Pro Bowler again. He's not. That's where I go valuable on a defense. A valuable piece on a defense is a Pro Bowler. He could still bring some sort of value, though, when it comes to being like a good rotational linebacker.
Yeah.
And that's where
what I'm saying. A good rotation. He has a rotation in this team. They can find ways to get him involved. Like, for example, I just went through all the things he does well. Rushing the passer, shutting off blocks. Like, there's something there with him.
Yeah, like Drake in the chat said, big rotation piece at least. High end if he does ball out. He could be an every down starter next to Jack.
That's
high upside swing.
That's the problem right there.
So like
that's my issue. Like
best case scenario, he could play a lot of snaps and he could get back to old Devin White. Best case scenario.
Yeah, but the Texans and the Raiders felt that way.
Again, we know what his high upside is. That's why it's best case scenario. Best case scenario is like Caleb's almost 0% with Tarik Skubal coming back to the Tigers. But average is in the middle. He's just a rotational piece for you that brings a good veteran presence.
That's it.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's not going to replace Anzo on the field. He's just not. He's just not as good of a player as Anzo is right now. But one thing he does bring for you, and I know we have Jack Campbell. I know who's the captain of the defense. I know we have Derek Barnes, who's I think considered a veteran at this point. But he brings a veteran presence to that linebacking room. Like, this is a guy that went to a Super Bowl, a guy that played next to Levante David, one of the best linebackers we've seen over the past 10, 20 years. So he's going to bring the veteran presence that Alex Anzalone brought and that we're losing. But he's not – I don't think he plays a ginormous part on this defense. I don't.
By the way, too, I just want to bring this up. Jesse in the chat, he keeps spamming, so I'll read it. Booner trying to pump up White. I'm guessing he's talking about Devin White, but kills people for liking Chuck Clark. Fun fact, they're the same guy. Old, good vet, role players. Man, full stop. By the way, Jesse, you're uninformed. I'm a Chuck Clark guy. I've said Chuck Clark's going to be good until Brian Branch and Kirby get back. I've said Chuck Clark's a valuable.
Is it Damone Clark?
I don't know.
The other Clark, the linebacker they signed, like Damone Clark. Remember that guy?
Damone Clark and Devin White. If that's the case, Damone Clark and Devin White, those are no. Devin White's better. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I'll say. I'll even say he's better than Rodrigo and Nowoski.
He is right.
But like, what is that like?
But it's an upgrade because those guys are playing valuable snaps for you no matter what.
See, this is the line. This is where I'm at right now. Like Devin White, good rotational, good depth. Where I'm stopping is like once we're creeping into like
Jack Campbell.
He's better. No, even Derek Barnes. Like I listen, Derek Barnes. You can say what you want about him. Like he's a better player right now than Devin White.
If you want to say that,
so like
we
right
could
below
break bread
them is where I'll stop. Like he's a good rotational piece. If Derek White gets hurt, maybe Devin White can slot in there, but he's not. I'm sorry. Like
I will say though, with the signing, and whether you think so or not, with the signing of Devin White, your defense just got better this weekend because your third linebacker spot that got upgraded, and I think it's a significant upgrade.
And it's unfortunate.
He's that much better than Rodrigo and Trevor Nowoski. He is.
Yeah, it was.
So those guys never touched 50 tackles in their career. The man had 170. And I know you're like, Booner, stop looking at tackles. I still believe though, if you're out there getting 170 tackles, and what did he have? 2.5 sacks and 2 takeaways and like bunch of tackles for losses. Hey, man, you're still a valuable piece in this league. Now, yes, are you getting beat in coverage? Yeah, okay. That's why now maybe Jack or Derek has to step into that role. Are you missing tackles? Yeah, but again, that's why you have guys behind you. So if you can kind of get those under control, what is Dan Campbell good at with these defenses? Getting guys to start like changing their careers around a little bit and getting this thing back on track. Maybe this is what he needed. Maybe this is what a Devin White, maybe that's why he signed with the Lions. He actually said, I had a lot of other teams that wanted me. I felt that the Lions was the best opportunity and situation for me. Maybe he felt like the Detroit Lions and being on this defense and being with Dan Campbell and Kelvin Shepard will bring him back to where he was back in 2020.
Do you have a clip of Devin White?
Yeah, I got one.
He spoke to the media. Let's take a listen. Here, Devin White had to say.
Is it about the Lions that you like?
I feel like the play style on defense is very aggressive. They use all their players to their strengths, and I know I got a lot of strengths that could be used, and I think it's an organization that can bring them out.
What was the last 24 hours for you like? Where'd you get to the draft?
Flew in Friday night, did some medical stuff Saturday, and just got the rolling today.
Just first impressions, obviously no pads, still kind of acclimation period, but just first impressions of what you saw here.
I think the speed of the game, I think doing everything at an intense level. He harped on that, just being all out. That was part of the thing he said, Coach Dan was like, when I was in New Orleans when we was in the same division, and that's what stuck off the tape always about you is that you just go 100 miles per hour. So just being able to come over here and fly around.
And I think what he said there about, how Detroit utilizes their players, I'm curious to see former linebacker coach Calvin Shepard. How does he kind of figure out a role for him? I don't know. The big question is how much they want to use nickel this year. That's what I'm most kind of excited to see with this defense is like how many times are you going to have three linebackers on the field versus two linebackers with like different matchups and which teams they're facing. How much of the time do you want to nickel out there, versus having three linebackers like you did last year? Because we saw last year in that base defense, they were, in terms of rate ran with base defense, one of the higher rates in the entire NFL. So now with nickels, Roger McCreary-Isian's back. That was also reported. Like, how much are they utilizing nickel versus base? And then you'll get to see more like, okay, how does Devin White kind of fit in with this?
Too, by the way, what I liked he said, that, hey, one of the reasons I chose to come to Detroit was because one thing that they do is they want to utilize players to what their strengths are. Like, they're not going to – you know what that means? And Dan told them, hey, we're not going to have you probably not great in cover. You won't have to cover. Mm-hmm. What are you great at? Like, you know what I mean? Especially a guy that's not like a Jack Campbell.
You blitz that guy.
Yeah, like Jack does everything, right? Devin White's going to be like, hey, what is he really, really good at doing? Is he good at getting to the quarterback, which we've seen in his career have over 9 sacks as a linebacker? Like you said, blitz him, maybe stopping the run, first downs, getting him out there, be able to stop the run. Him and Jack Campbell stopping the run. Maybe that's a situational thing that they do. But at least they're putting him in positions of doing things that he's really good at. Because Derek Barnes, like the reports coming out of camp was, Derek Barnes has been decent in coverage. Dan's brought that up. They asked him about it. He's been making plays in coverage. So maybe they look at Derek Barnes as their cover guy, and then they're looking at, Devin White coming in, stopping the run, getting to the quarterback, and they're kind of looking at him in that role. And again, using him to his, his strengths, to the ability of that defense. That's what you want to hear. Yeah,
which I do agree with, despite what people are saying. If you really feel like he's going to be a big contributor on this team, like I'm not going to. I'm not going to discredit your positivity. If he is, I would be ecstatic. I'm just trying to throw in some, hey, here's kind of what he's been, where he struggled. Fair. Like, this is why he's been on 2 different NFL teams in the last 2 years. This is what – because I remember watching Devin White with the Buccaneers when he won the Super Bowl. That dude was a stud. He was a downhill linebacker. But the reason why he hasn't really been able to ever get – a big contract or be an all-pro or, like those type, like the top linebackers in the league is because of his deficiencies. He's not an all-around linebacker. He's just not. That's why he's bounced around, But is there still something there? Like, maybe there is. I think there are other things that have come out of training camp I do want to mention. One of them, Jahmyr Gibbs is now kind of floating around practice.
He's at practice now, does not suit it up.
And he was asked about his hold-in. And he said, only time will tell on the hold-in. That was his response. And Dave Burkett put out an article as well on Free Press, and he was asked about, Jahmyr was asked about, hey, do you need a new contract before you return to practice? And he said, nah, it's not about that. And there's more into this article that we can dive into, but Jahmyr kind of broke his silence, but he is hanging around practice. He's hanging around golf, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's there.
Hold on. Jared Goff. What? Stick over here, Jared Goff. Wait a second. What more could it be about? If it's not about contract, then why isn't he out there? Like, really?
I don't know.
Isn't that all it could
be? It's about the contract.
It's definitely
that's all it is. Has to be, right?
Are they like low? It makes you think, though, the only way like it's an extension off the contract. Did the Lions just completely lowball him?
Well,
that's where I kind of go to.
Well, I brought that up. I mean, the biggest thing for me around this Gibbs contract is, like, obviously we'd all like to know the number, but I wonder if Gibbs's camp, again, speculation purely, I wonder if Gibbs's camp is maybe looking for more of a weapon contract.
Yeah.
And then the Lions are like, no, we want to pay you to be a running back. Because they have said multiple times, they've described Jahmyr as a weapon on offense. So, of course, if I'm Gibbs' agent, I'm like, well, you want to pay him to be a running back, but all we have from Dan, Brad, you two, speaking over the last 6 months, is you describe him as more than a running back, a weapon, if you will. So let's talk about that weapon contract. Let's talk about what that would be rather than a running back. You guys have said that. That's the verbiage you guys have used about my client, Jahmyr Gibbs. So why am I going to be like, yeah, just make him the highest paid running back? No. We want to be paid like a weapon, a couple $1 million more than a running back. So I'm, again, speculation, just throwing it out there. But I am curious what the the gap is between the two sides there.
Yeah,
sure.
it does though. Again, it comes down to this. Like when I told you guys last week when I had the conversation with Braylon about it. Like Braylon did bring up a good point. It's like, hey, if you want to get paid as a weapon, you do have to be that weapon, and you do have to have at least a couple years with that. Those numbers out there to where if you do look at his numbers, they are the same as Saquon's and Derek's and Jonathan Taylor's and CMC's and Bijan's. Like those guys could also be like, hey, I'm a weapon too. So I get it. Like he is one of the best players in football. But if you are the Lions, you're looking at it like, hey, man, you have had in 3 years one 2,000-yard season combined.
Yeah, so, or is it just waiting to Bijan signs? That could very, very well just be the case.
Maybe that's part
of
the, hey, it's not about that. Maybe it's just because, hey, we're just waiting to see what happens in this market.
Which is fair.
Maybe the Lions did lowball him, and he's like, okay, then let's wait. Let's see what Bijan does then.
Yeah.
That's the contract you want to give me? Let's see what Bijan gets, and then we can talk.
Art says, put a no blocking clause in his contract, please.
I don't know if you could do that.
I mean, he's not. I mean, we saw it in the Packers game. He's not a great run blocker. But the way I look at it is like Bijan and Gibbs. I do think Gibbs gets paid first. The way I look at it, though, is whoever takes the contract first, I'm waiting for the other guy, like 100%. Like I think this holdout might be a little longer than we anticipate because I think that's what they're doing. I think they're both holding out. But the comment that he made that it was more than his contract, I don't know. Booner, I think you make a good point. I think they could have lowballed him big time there.
Another thing, too, yesterday, Ali McNeil returned to practice. So that's good news. Nothing serious with him. I think he was just kicked in the head, which seems to be pretty serious, but it wasn't. So thankfully that's not the case. He's back at practice.
Yeah, I guess it was concussion. They said neck. And then when I listened to Lee McNeil talk, he was like, I had to do the iPad concussion protocol thing.
Yeah, probably just making sure he was okay. There were some injuries today. And I'm going to go through those. So 3 injuries today. Running back Sione Vaki, poked in the eye.
Yeah, Sticks just said, wear a visor, dude.
Poked in the eye.
By the way, I'm a Sione Vaki. When he's playing, he's a good player. He is probably the most injury-prone player we have on this team.
Poked in the eye hurts bad.
It does.
It's like something. If a player was out for a week because they stubbed their toe, that's no issues with me. Just like that.
Okay. Another injury, tight end Anthony Ferkser, leg. Wide receiver Lawrence Keys, leg. So Sione Vaki poked in the eye, headlines that one. So Sione Vaki's out. No big time player. All due respect to those guys. So they've been pretty good, at least so far. I mean, you're seeing some injuries. At Derek Moore, he's going to be out 7 to 10 days with a groin injury. It seems, I believe, is the case, and he's looked really good in camp, according to all reports. People that have been in attendance, just coming out. Derek Moore has looked really good. I listened to Calvin Shepard speak about him as well, and they love him. And it sounds like the common sentiment with like this Lions D-line, coaches are excited about this D-line. They are. And the narrative has been, and I love this too, like they're being very vocal about what they want to see this year. And the thing you keep hearing from Dan and now Calvin, they want to get back to being a top run defense.
Yep.
Calvin said it today. Dan said it the other day. Stop the run the ball from Dan. And then from Calvin, we want to get back to, we want to earn the right. You hear that all the time. Earn the right to rush the passer. And that run defense is going to be super important. And he said Derek Moore, the thing that surprised him the most is his athleticism. He said usually you just look at him as like a power guy, but he said he's super athletic.
Yesterday, was it yesterday?
No wasted movements.
I think it was Saturday. I think it might have been. It was either yesterday or Saturday. Our guy Lucas Klotz was out at practice. I think Saturday, and he was sending us videos of Derek Moore and telling us about Derek Moore. And he said his size and then the speed that he has is insane. Like he was like he did not expect what he saw to Derek Moore when he showed up, and then when he saw him, he was like blown away and was like, "Wait a second, this is a dude." And this is what I talked about a couple of weeks ago when we had the Hot Take Monday or whatever. I said, "Hey, the Lions finally got that other edge across from Aiden Hutchinson, and I think in the next couple of years you're gonna have a Pro Bowler in Derek Moore." Still believe that because you see how big of a human he is, and then you add on the athleticism, and then as well he had the production at Michigan. I know a lot of people will be like, "Well, he didn't play anyone." I don't care if you have the production, you have the production, and if you have all of the kind of measurements that go with it and the athleticism on top of that, dude, you're going to be good in this league, especially at that edge position. The number one thing, in my opinion, at the edge position, what do you see out of all the great edges in the league? Size, athleticism. Those are the two things.
Yep.
And you can
In
get
length.
in length, and they can work with you,
Yeah.
right? Like if you get in a good D line, they can work with you. And he's paired to one of the best in the league in Aiden Hutchinson, and Casey Rogers, one of the best D line coaches in this league.
Yeah.
So like you think like, hey, it might not be this year, and that's why I always say, hey, let's not raise his expectations. So when you're disappointed this year with him, because he is a rookie, but year 2, year 3, I wouldn't be shocked if he's a Pro Bowler by year 3, year 4. I would not be. And also too, you talked about real quick. Kind of the trenches and how everyone just keeps popping up and saying, like, Kelvin Shepard, we want to be able to stop the run. Dan, we want to stop the run. Drew Petzing today, guess what he said? He was on Costa and Jansen's show at training camp this morning. Guess what he said? We have to bang. It's going to be physical out there, and I'm excited to be a part of it. So I think his mind, too, if you talk about the opposite side with Kelvin Shepard, other side of the ball, guess what Drew Petzing likes to do the most? We spoke with him, and he brought up D-Mont at the time, but he loves run game. Like, that's his thing. His MO is like, I want to run the ball, I want to pound the ball down your throat, and I want to go at it with you. That's what Drew Petzing's about. So I think both sides of the ball, man, is very, very valuable to have that. I'm excited, honestly.
Yeah, another player he mentioned, Amon-Ra. He said he's been playing. I mean, he's full tilt every single snap. If they got pads on or they don't, and it's actually caused some fights. The offense don't really like that too much, but he's a pass man, Ahmed. And they actually gave him a plan for his body because they're going to use him in different ways. Like what they might use him on the interior a little bit. They might move him around. So he's actually he's incredible. He's in incredible shape. But they might work in some Ahmed in this year too, man. I know we've talked a lot about him, but they're super excited for what he's bringing. So you just look at the edge room with Aiden, DJ Wanham, Derek Moore, Ahmed Hassanin. They seem to like it.
Out of 10, what's the confidence in the chat too? Dropped in there. What's the confidence level in that edge room right now compared to what we've had in the past? 1 out of 10.
I think I'm probably higher. I'm the highest on this edge room than I've been in any other edge room, but I don't think it's like. I still have my concerns.
So you're like a 6?
Yeah, like in the past, if it's been like a 5, will be like a 6 or a 7. but in all seriousness, like let's be real. Like DJ Wanham, good run defender. He's shown things, but he's coming off a major injury, and he hasn't really done what he did before that with the Minnesota Vikings. If he can, that's a hit. We still got to see that. And then Derek Moore this year, I personally don't think he's going to be like super impactful. So if you ask me this a year from now, when Derek Moore's taking another step, it's going to go up. But I just think right now for this season,
yeah. I mean, there still is we got to see it.
I would say like 7. I'll give you one more.
I'll go one more. I'll go 8.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm just confident in the edge room. I think DJ Wanham, I think he's actually a really good player in this league. Like, we've seen him in edge rankings. He's ranked in the top 30. So, like, you have him, and then you have Aiden Hutchinson. But with him, the good thing with him is he stops the run. And if you want to get Derek Moore in there to get to the quarterback, you can do that. This is what it was saying with Ahmed Hassanin. And, like, I can just keep going down the line. They do have dudes in that room now. Levi O, throw him on the outside.
Okay, we're throwing the word dudes around a lot.
Not dudes, not like dudes, but I'm saying
you said Levi O.
I'm saying like. All right, when I say dudes, you're thinking like a Hutch. What I'm saying is more so like before you're like this guy, like you're getting nothing out of him. Like okay, throw him out. At least Marcus now
Davenport.
you're getting something out of DJ Wanham. Like he's gonna be valuable for you. You're getting something out of Derek Moore, valuable for you. Levi O, if healthy, valuable for you. Like you're getting something out of some of these guys, and there's names that we're leaving off the table too. I think. Let me pull this depth.
Anthony
chart
Lucas is another name I've been excited about. I've been excited about him, so we'll see what he can do.
Tyler Lacey, another name. Okay. I saw he got tweeted out there. He could say Tyler Lacey keeps doing well. He's a guy that can go inside and outside. Ahmed Hassanin. Listen, I'm a little fired up for this room. All right. What's so funny over there, Caleb?
Nothing, man.
You're just giggling. You're not even saying anything.
No, mine's like at a 6. I think personnel-wise it's a 6, but I do think the edge production will be better, but that's parlayed because I think the interior defensive line is going to get better, so you're going to be able to see more one-on-ones with Hutchinson, and Derek Moore's probably going to get some one-on-ones, but the reason I give it a 6 personnel-wise is because we don't know what we're getting out of Derek Moore. Like, yeah, he's had a nice camp so far, but we don't know what we're getting. DJ Wanham coming off of a tough injury, and then the other guys, that's why I was giggling. You're naming guys that are like depth piece and fringe going to make the roster. So that's why I'm going to give it a 6. Because, I mean, you want to talk about dudes, Hutch is your only dude right now.
Yeah, and Derek Moore hopefully can be like a, he's like a young.
I mean,
pup.
we're talking about
Maybe
Derek
he could
Moore
be a
only
dog.
getting 4.5. Like the over/under's 5. So for you guys,
The X factor, to be honest, is DJ Wanham. That's the X factor.
Yeah.
If he's Minnesota Vikings DJ Wanham, you feel pretty good.
Yeah.
Because he was an 8-sack guy in Minnesota.
That's fair.
If he can be like an 8-9 sack guy,
Even if not, though, he stops the run. Like last year in Carolina, he was really good in the run.
he's better than Marcus Davenport. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's where that's where I'm confident.
Yeah.
And he's a healthy player too. Like he's
Yeah.
not like we're not going to have him. We're going to have DJ Wanham.
Yeah, he is coming off a pretty. Yeah, hopefully he stay healthy. But I'm excited about DJ.
And also too, I'll say this: I'm just high, and this is where I think people just really fall off with me because people think I don't like Aleem McNeil. Again, KG's not here today to be like, Booner, you hate him. Like, no, I like Aleem McNeil. If this D-line stays healthy, again, that's a big what if. If they stay healthy and they're playing at their best, this could be a top 10 D-line in the NFL with the personnel that they have.
that is because of again, I'm not that confident in the edge room, but the interior.
Interior,
I think
I'm
is
with you
gonna
on
get
that.
a lot
But also, it's the edge. You
interior.
have Aiden Hutchinson, All-Pro, Aleem McNeil, Ty League, a first-round pick, and a guy that
Has
should
played
be
at
a
a high
Pro
level.
Bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
has
should be
played
a
at a
Pro
high
Bowler.
level.
And then on the other side, you have Derek Moore, a second-round pick who has a high ceiling. You have DJ Wanham, who's been good in this league. And has stayed healthy last year, actually. And then your bench is basically guys that have started for you in the past, and Levi O. And then you have Amon-Ra in the kind of the question still on.
He's
So
like a little wild
I think
card.
this D-line room, I've said it before, I think it's the best that you've had and that Brad has built since he's walked into Allen Park.
Okay. Shout out to the people in the chat. Kevin Bell. You gotta be joking, Kevin.
What did he say?
He said, "Bro, Action Jack Campbell and Devin White are going to be the toughest linebacker duo in the league." These are your people.
Action Jack.
Hey, shout out Kevin White, man.
Is
it Kevin White?
No, Kevin Bell.
Kevin Bell. Sorry,
and Kevin
Devin
Bell,
White.
he's a friend of the. I've seen
Shout out
Kevin Bell in
Kevin.
there for a while, and I respect Kevin Bell. But Kevin Bell, you got to be kidding with that take. Devin White and Jack Campbell, one of the toughest linebacker duos, or be the toughest. Sorry, not one
Again,
of
if
the toughest linebacker duo.
If Devin White
in
returns
the
to
league.
Devin White form, then yes. But there's probably a 5% chance that he gets back to 2020 Devin White.
What's a better chance? Scooba comes back to the Tigers, or he gets back to Devin?
Scooba comes back to the Tigers.
I mean, this guy.
Yeah, that's 5%.
Stick. Anyone will
5%. Dude, the 5%'s crazy. I mean, we're debating 0 versus 5 fucking
I don't think you
percent.
realize how big of a difference 0 versus 5 is.
Dude, I mean, it's 5% difference. I mean,
when you're
that
trying to
is-
make the NFL, you have like a 0.00001% chance of making it. Imagine if you
There's
had a
less of a chance
Imagine
that
if you had a
Scooba comes back.
5% chance to make it.
There
That's
might,
a big
there
percent.
might there might be more of a chance for me or you to make the NFL than Scooba coming back. To the
No,
Tigers.
see, that's where you're just way off.
Why?
Okay. All right. Let's take a break, man.
Yeah, Art Van Lay said,
Let's
what about
take a
Fred Warner and Trey Greenlaw? Yeah, great point.
Let's take a
Good
break.
duo.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Supreme Lending, shall we? And then we'll come back. We'll talk some Detroit Lions. So let me tell you about our friends over at Supreme Lending. You guys know what it is. The professionals. If you're buying a home or refinancing, which is a massive, massive decision, you talk to Chad and Chris over at Supreme Lending. They'll take care of you. The important thing, though, mention Woodward Sports when you're applying for that loan. And you could be eligible for up to $500 off. So trust the professionals, Chad and Chris over at Supreme Lending today. We'll catch you after the break.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that.
Don't just survive, thrive.
Dan Campbell is in redemption mode.
No, make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
And Woodward Sports is here to cheer on the Detroit Lions every snap. Don't miss a moment of Detroit Lions coverage. Follow Woodward Sports on all social media platforms now.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
And we're back. It's crunch time here at Woodward Sports. We're live at the Oak Point Country Club for the Athletes Unlimited charity golf outing. I almost said celebrity golf outing. Well, celebrities are here. All right, you're looking at two of them, three of them. Caleb Czarnik.
No, only one. Caleb Czarnik, man.
Yeah, it's really this guy right here,
man.
the heart and soul of the show. But we're spending a lot of time on Detroit Lions, and we're going to keep kind of talking about it. I know people are already commenting, so let's get to the chat. He says, Samuelson says, when y'all know this D-line ain't sniffing top 10 anything. Well, here's the thing, though, Samuelson. And you know what? I will back my friend up on that top 10 take for this D-line, that they have potential.
I think that's not that crazy of a
I will
take.
back you up on that because I think there are some things you have to have things fall your way. No one's saying that doesn't need to happen. Okay, you need some luck with this thing. You need Aleem McNeil to return to his top 10 form he was a couple years ago, 2 years ago. And if Tyreek can take a step forward, you like what he can be. So those two next to each other is a pretty good defensive tackle duo. You like that, with those guys playing with next to each other. Aiden, don't really need to explain him. We know what he is, 15 sacks a year, whatever. On the other side, that is a question too. DJ Wanham and Derek Moore, if those guys are in some sort of rotation and, DJ can return to that Vikings form, get you 8 sacks or somewhere around there, Derek Moore can sprinkle in some. I think as a collective, you feel pretty good about the D-line. The biggest X factor, though, are the two in the middle.
Yeah.
What does Aleem and Tyreek look like? Because if those guys are causing havoc, then teams are going to have some issues.
I don't think it's that crazy to say that the Detroit Lions front seven is really good. You know what I mean? I think you try to build this defense, and we talked about last year, what were they, 24th defensively in the NFL, whatever it was, 22nd. Yeah. Don't know the exact number. But when you're sitting in the 20s in the NFL defensively, Brad Holmes, his mindset goes, okay, we have to figure out a way to make this defense better. Where do we address it, right? You have to admit that they have addressed that front seven, right? And especially the run defense was an issue. The only situation that kind of you start to question is that secondary now and it's not even because Dan or Brad didn't fully address it. It's because you've had injuries and you had the Terrion Arnold situation. Yep. So, like the defense, let's say TA that never happens. Brian Branch is healthy and Kirby's healthy. We would be sitting here making a point that this is a top 10 defense in the NFL. And I don't think people would be calling you crazy. So I think right now your front seven, if they're at their best and they're healthy and they're playing at the highest level, that front seven is probably a top 10 front seven within the NFL. The only reason your defense right now has a question mark on it now is because of your corners and the health of your safeties.
There are still, and the reason I wouldn't solidify them into the top 5 the top 10 is because there are still question marks on the defensive line. Like, a guy we're skeptical of if he's going to come back to his full health is Aleem McNeil. Like Tyreek Williams, what year two jump does he make? Derek Moore, what kind of production do we see out of him? Right now we have his line at over 5 sacks. DJ Wanham, does he come back? Like, I do agree.
But again,
at full strength, this is a top 10 defensive line, but we need to see.
That's what I've said, though. Like, I'm not saying they are now. So if Caleb, if you interpret it that way, then
I got what you were saying.
I can work on that with you, and we can get you.
I think we both understood.
All right, man. I get what you're saying.
It is what I said, and people in the chat again. If healthy and if they get to their full potential, it is a top 10 D line. They do have a top 10 front seven on that defense right now. But you have to just get there, right? And you have to stay healthy. And Aleem has to come out and show out. Tyreek has to take a big jump this season. You need to see a good rookie season from Derek Moore. Like I mean, I could keep saying the same things over and over. It is all what ifs, but the ifs are if they get there, that is a top 10 D line, talent-wise.
Let's get to some of these videos. Dan Campbell spoke to the media today and spoke on a bunch of different things. I know we always like to recap what he kind of spoke about and what's been going on at Lions training camp, which we are breaking everything down, everything that's coming out. We are the one-stop shop for that, Woodward Sports. But what do you got, Caleb? You got some videos on Dan Campbell. You have the one him talking about the cornerback competition. Let's play that. That's a big storyline. Let's hear from Dan.
Back 2 spot right now. It seems like it's Rock Ya-Sin versus Ennis Rakestraw, but maybe Nick Whiteside has a shot to elevate himself there.
It's another position where, Rock's making plays. We've been with Rock. We know what he's about. We know the way he competes. We got high hopes for Rakestraw too, and you see flashes with him, man. There's some good stuff. There's some just same thing, inconsistencies with him a little bit. But then I would say those are less and less every day, which is good news. Whiteside has made plays every day. Every special teams and on defense, every day. All right, there has not been a day yet. We've had 4 practices where he has not made plays. So this is about to get interesting. It's going to be really interesting.
So you got 3 corners competing right now for the number 2 spot, it seems like. And I think Rock obviously has the edge there. But just 2 guys that are in that conversation as well that are making plays. One more than the other. Whiteside, SVSU alum. He's a part of the Legion of Whom, Nick Whiteside last year. Played against the Buccaneers, had a really good game. Dan said he's been making plays every day of practice.
Defensively, special teams-wise, it's interesting to hear Brad kind of go about that because – like the Rakestraw thing, you would hope that your second-round pick and his first full camp is kind of healthy would be doing what Nick Whiteside's doing, who's an undrafted guy, Division II player, and he's fighting for a job in the NFL. You would expect the words come out of Dan Campbell's mouth to be, hey, Ennis Rakestraw's making plays daily. He looks like a second-round pick. He's back to what he was at Missouri. That's what you would hope, right? But then you hear, hey, he's been inconsistent. And that's where I think there's a little bit of concern. No, Caleb, sorry to say it. I would like the opposite. Like I would like what he's saying about Nick Whiteside to be about Ennis Rakestraw, and it's not. And Nick Whiteside right now is earning his job, and he is. And obviously today's first day of pads, so you really got to wait and see if he's making plays with pads on. But I think there's a cause for concern talking about the Rakestraw stuff.
Yeah, the inconsistency, which, he has the problem with it though, and I'm not even really trying to defend Ennis, but I'm just trying to put into perspective, this is someone who's never available. So if you're never available, you can't bank reps. And if you can't bank reps, you can't iron out any consistency. So the problem is the dude is inconsistent because he has not played football. I'm not saying he's going to get consistent. I'm just saying that's the issue. The guy's never on the field to actually practice. So now that he is, what you're hoping for is as we get closer to the end of training camp and whatever preseason, that you get a better Ennis Rakestraw then.
Isn't it the same though with Whiteside, where it's like Whiteside he had one game last year where he played. Here and there was on special teams, but that's a guy who doesn't get a lot of reps because he was undrafted. He's on the 3rd, 4th teams practice squad, not getting reps with the 1st and 2nd teams ever. But guess what he does? He just works and finds a way to make plays when his number's called.
And he's
so if you're Ennis,
available.
Yeah, but if you're Ennis, now you're available. There should be no excuse of hey, we just need to get him back. No, you're fully healthy. You're a second-round pick. That's what that means.
Yes.
You're extremely talented, and you got there for a reason. You have to go out there and put that on the paper. This is the NFL, man. This isn't like college football where it's hey, we can wait a couple years for you to develop. It's time, dude. It's time for you to step up. This is your livelihood. This is time for you to kind of go out there and show what you have. And right now, Saginaw Valley alum, shout out, is beating them out. And that's what it sounds like to me. And from what we've heard, and someone in the chat said, where was it? Someone said, I heard Rakestraw's been getting cooked. I don't know if he's been getting cooked, fully. You were talking about this, Jeff, from what we've heard. Coming off the ball, he's been on defenders and hip on hip with them.
Yeah, the separation hasn't been terrible.
He's not making plays on the ball, and people are making a lot of catches on Ennis Rakestraw, from what we've heard. So it's not a separation issue. It's a, hey, you got to go out there and make plays issue, to where, guess who's making plays? Nick Whiteside.
By the way, we had a super chat that I wanted to get to earlier that I didn't read. Let's see. Joe P. Appreciate the 5. D. White is a more athletic Gerard Davis. I rented Disclosure Day over the weekend, and Booner, you owe me $20. Movie was cheeks.
I didn't tell you to go rent the movie.
What did you say about the movie?
Said to me it was my favorite
alien
movie of all time.
No, you did not.
It was the greatest alien movie ever made.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg is a genius.
You went into it and said that's why you trusted your opinion.
I sometimes get thrown off when I see Steven Spielberg or these big director names. It throws me off a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It was a good movie. I'm surprised you didn't like it at all, Joe P. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not going to go all time, but it was.
Would you like to read the last?
Yes, we have Vitrolic Carnage, appreciate the $2. I see in the chat all the time. He says, stick sucks, golf sucks, stick sucks golf. Well, the third one's true. Is that fair? The first two are not true. The third one is arguable. You can maybe argue that. He is a golf guy, and you should see this guy in our group chats. It's actually amazing. You need that dynamic though at Woodward Sports. You need he's gonna come over here, stick, get a headset. Okay, should be.
Oh, we'll make it active.
You called the man out, and now he gets to come over here and tell his side.
No, see, this is the problem. You mentioned me. I'm just sitting over there enjoying my time at this beautiful golf course.
You said his name 3 times in the mirror.
Crunch time. You guys mentioned Jared Goff. I root for Jared Goff because he is our Lord and Savior for the Detroit Lions. The Gospel. I'm here to speak it to you.
The Gospel.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people who need this religion in their lives. Who said that about me?
That would be
what is this?
Vitriol Carnage.
I don't know who you are. This is the first time I've seen you in our chat, but I appreciate you knowing who I am and understanding the level of respect I have for one Jared fucking Goff. He has delivered us more playoff wins than anybody in my lifetime. He's taken us from irrelevance to constantly relevant. He leads the league in touchdowns, passing yards, completion percentage over the past 4 years. And
He's got him off the top. I respect that.
You know how many times I've had to argue this? Jesus. It's a playbook that I have to run every single day, and I know people are sick of me defending this man, but I'm sick of having to defend the man. I feel like in our group chat, I am literally Jon Snow, just standing there with my fucking sword, waiting for idiots like Ryan Lentz to come at me. And I got it in the bag, and I just keep adding stats because there's so many more things I find out. I didn't know that. Oh, my God. Okay, I'm using this in the next argument.
Yeah.
So, if you want to see me defend Jared Goff, make sure you're watching Woodward in Maine every Sunday at 8 a.m. right here on the Woodward Sports Network. And if you want to see me go off on Tarik Skubal, you can do that as well because I went off on his quickness.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Everybody, I want Skubal's the best pitcher. No. Best pitcher can complete a fucking game. The best pitcher can stay in the playoffs after the 6th inning. No, elimination game, it all on the line, season on the line. You have your ace on the mound. It's everything you dream of until he taps, right? Until he taps and then hands it over to the bullpen. And guess what? We're out of the playoffs. We're not going to make it back now for many years. He's off in L.A. signing his whatever $400 million, $500 million, $600 million contract. But we saved his arm, guys. We can't ask one of the best athletes in the world to go out there and pitch 6 more outs. You can't do that with him because he's not that type of horse. So, I'm sad to see him go. Love what he did here, but he ain't the one, man. To me, he's not even the best pitcher to ever put on a Tigers jersey. Not even in my lifetime. I mean, Verlander, I would put above him. I'd put Scherzer above him. Shit, I'd rather have Porcello than him.
Oh my gosh! What do we do, man?
No,
back-to-back Cy Young.
Oh, great! Regular season awards. Yeah, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. You guys are great. And then come playoff times, what do? Nothing. And that's what I want. A Cy Young is great. That means you did great during the regular season. You know what I want? I want playoff MVP. I want complete games. I want Nolan Ryan pitching 187 pitches, not worrying about tomorrow. But we live in an era of softness. We live in an era where this guy's going to make $500 million for being a 6-inning pitcher. It's disgusting. He shouldn't get that much money for being that.
Oh, man. I will say, by the way, for
you
your
pitch 2/3 of the game, you want 600? Okay, I'm going to settle at 400 because you only play 2/3.
And, I said he just needs to take the money that they offer him. If he really wants to be in Detroit, he says how much he wants to be in Detroit. I said a couple weeks ago, sign the contract.
Yeah, if he wanted to be in Detroit, he would have signed a contract.
Sign it.
But Scott Boras has him on a little leash and trots him around like the gimp, bringing him out from Pulp Fiction.
Wow.
And the guy now gets to be in L.A.
Jeez.
With their homegrown team.
Icewater Olson says, Stick would hate the best pitcher in baseball. I love the 13th best quarterback in the NFL.
By the way, with the Jared Goff stuff,
he's loyal.
I don't understand.
I
think it's one of the craziest things ever that there are actually people at this network who go at Goff.
Well, if you go back, honestly, when we first got Jared Goff, you can search our YouTube page, search Stick, Joik Bell, and Sean Belizean talking about Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford. And this started with me just saying, give the guy a chance, right? Like, just give the guy a chance. You know, he could be good for us. Like, let's not throw this guy away. He was a number 1 overall pick. He's been to a Super Bowl, taken a franchise from having the number 1 overall pick, which means they're pretty damn bad, to being relevant. If you got that on a blank piece of paper, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I'd take this all day. But because you attached the name Jared Goff to him, people were like, when Jared Goff literally, the year before he got here, came in and won a playoff game with an injury for the Rams. Remember, I don't know if you remember, their backup quarterback at Warford
it was like
or something
he had
was
a
playing.
hand or something.
Yeah, and then Goff had to come in and win a playoff game with a broken hand or
Beat
something.
the Packers, I think
and he did it, right? And that's the guy, like a guy who won a playoff game while injured. We got him the very next year, and it's like, this guy can't win. I'm like, I just watched it with my own eyes last year. Injured, him coming in. And then it's like, oh, well, he's a Sean McVay merchant. Oh, he's a Todd Gurley merchant. Oh, he's a Ben Johnson merchant. Oh, it's Jahmyr Gibbs. And it's like, well, then clearly Goff is the luckiest quarterback to ever put on a helmet and pads, because for some reason this guy just keeps going to franchises and they keep getting better.
Yeah.
For some reason, Jeff, can you tell me why?
I mean, he's a good quarterback.
He's a elite
you could win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. That's the argument that always gets brought up. You can't win with him. Like, no, you can.
And that's why, like, I hate Sam Darnold winning
championship
a
game
Super
with
Bowl last year, but I can point to that and be like, oh, yeah, Sam Darnold, super mobile, right? Oh, yeah, that guy was putting up yards with his feet, getting first downs running the ball. No, he wasn't. He was a game manager. He was getting the ball to the right place. He was extending plays with his brain. He was reading through his progressions. And that's where, like, because Jared Goff's biggest muscle is his brain, aside from his penis, is his brain, like, people don't see it, so they don't know it. Right? If this guy could run a 4.1 40 and do all that stuff, they'd be like, oh, my God, he's a phenomenal athlete. But you can't, like, you look at Tom Brady coming out as a 6th-round pick. Look at that scrawny-ass dude in his combine picture. But you know what you don't see is his brain and how he can process and how fast he processes information, where he can put the ball. Like, those are all intangibles that guys like whoever told you I sucked off Goff, like, they don't see it. And it's almost like they don't want to see it. Right? Like, they don't want to acknowledge perfect games don't happen often, and Goff set the record for 6 perfect quarters. That doesn't happen because you're a bad quarterback.
He's not wrong, honestly.
Right?
You're not.
No, yeah.
You're the stats and everything you throw out, they're facts.
Right,
like,
but
you're not throwing out lies.
But here's the Goff haters. Stats don't matter at the quarterback position. Like, what are you talking about? I was arguing with Jeff yesterday about a 56% completion percentage being good for Caleb Williams. He's like, well, he can progress. And I was like, okay, well, what did he do last year? Well, he was 62, then he went to 58. So he's regressing. So Caleb Williams isn't getting better. He's getting worse when it comes to completion percentage.
Completion,
Jeff.
yes.
Okay.
If you want to just use the completion percentage,
he's
a better quarterback.
Is it important for quarterbacks to complete passes, Jeff?
Yes,
okay,
it is.
so you want to get better at that, right, Jeff?
Yes, but
okay, all right, good. I'm glad we agree on it. I'm glad we have a baseline
but there's
agreement.
more context to that. You know that with Caleb.
Well, I think there's a thing with Goff that people want to look at is they do, like, compare him to Josh Allen and Caleb Williams and all these, like, Patrick Mahomes. Like, it's like in different sports. Every player has their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
And Goff has weaknesses where he doesn't have the craziest arm.
Right.
But if you put him in a position to complete passes, short passes, and put weapons around him that can get yak, he can win.
Right.
And people will be like, well, what about Josh Allen? It's like, yeah, like, talent-wise, Josh Allen's probably better, but you could also win with Jared. That doesn't mean you can't not win with Jared Goff.
Right, that's it.
That's where people, like, it veers off a little bit, and it's like, you have to realize.
Well, and then they want to. He doesn't want. If like, my problem is, even when Goff wins his Super Bowl within the next 2 years for the Detroit Lions, it's still not going to be enough for the Goff haters. It's going to be, well, Trent Dilfer got one too, and it's
well, Ryan Lentz. I was in an argument with him last week in the office, and I said, if Jared wins in Detroit, you have to put hand up and say I was wrong, because he keeps saying he's not good enough to win a Super Bowl. You can't do that. And he goes, I won't do that.
They already have it built in. Oh, it was the team. It was Jahmyr Gibbs. Oh, he needed everything perfect around him. But then they go award Matthew Stafford for his one Super Bowl, already taking over a team, which I already mentioned, had won a playoff game the year before, was already relevant. Then you had a Von Miller. Then you had an OBJ. Then you had a Jalen Ramsey. Then you throw in a Matthew Stafford. And, of course, anybody can take that team to a Super Bowl.
To be fair, I will be against you. I'm taking Stafford right now.
All right.
Goff.
Okay.
MVP.
You can do that. It's funny because when Stafford came to Ford Field, what happened in the playoffs?
Fair, but he won a Super Bowl and an MVP.
Right. But what happens when he came to Ford Field?
Yeah, but what
happened when he went to the playoffs in the Lions?
Honestly, this is the argument of regular season to playoffs. Playoffs to Super Bowl. I don't care about the playoffs. I want Super Bowl.
I get that, but to get to the Super Bowl, you got to win playoff games, which he did absolutely zero here.
But he did win.
He had to go to a perfect setting with a team that was already playoff ready, and then they add 4 other Hall of Famers to that, and he wins. Yeah, but just think of this offseason. If we had, we're talking a couple years ago, prime Odell Beckham Jr., prime Jalen Ramsey, prime Von Miller. You don't think that would have?
But then even last year, though, he won MVP. Like, even an MVP.
Yeah, MVP. So's Lamar Jackson.
The only thing I would say, because you're not wrong with like your. I mean, he had a stacked team.
I know I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong with that. The thing where you're wrong is the playoff. If you watch that playoff run by the Rams, there's a lot of plays and a lot of things that happen because of how great.
Yeah, the dropped interception by Tampa Bay that would have ended that game, and he wouldn't have moved
I was
forward.
talking about to seal the game against Tampa, the 50-yard dot to Cooper Kupp down the field like that. That's a Matthew
Stafford play. How about that dropped interception? Well, that's also a Matthew Stafford. Remember when Calvin met up with him in the playoffs? Said, I need a couple out of you. He wasn't talking touchdowns. He was talking to Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Leads the league in pick sixes, by the way, for the past 5 years, Matthew Stafford. So if you love swinging a game with pick sixes, Matthew Stafford's your man.
Well, I want one of the greatest passers to ever live, and that's him.
Do you?
So, yeah, I would take that.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you want to go that way, can we dissect Goff's run to the Super Bowl? We can dissect that, talk about the dropped interceptions or the lack of passing touchdowns. Yeah. We can nitpick that. You bring up he makes a Super Bowl.
We could do this with any player.
You would have won a Super Bowl. Jared Goff put you in a position to win a Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
Like Josh Reynolds, Jared Goff gave Josh Reynolds 2 great passes.
Jahmyr Gibbs fumbled the football too. I know we don't mention that thing.
But that's where when
Goff played well that playoff
like
run.
Jeff is in the chat right now. Who's the other heavyweights intern? I forget his name.
I don't know. We got so many people.
We
got so many people.
Skywalker.
Yeah. He's like, there's a 0%. He was like, there's a 0% chance you will ever win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff at the helm. Like, no,
that's crazy. There's a line for me.
And then I had to go on their show and be like, dude, are you like? With all due respect, how dumb are you? Like, you went to an NFC Championship game. You would have won the Super Bowl that year if Jahmyr doesn't fumble it. Josh Reynolds catches 2 passes. It's over.
Well, and for
so
me,
you can't say 0% chance. You can do it with Jared.
Yeah, it's at least a 5% chance, right, Booner?
At least a 5. I go way more than 5.
But for me, also, the one thing that we never bring up with Jared Goff in his time here in Detroit is the defense. Has Jared Goff even had a top 15
That's where I'll have your back.
To work with?
You need a defense to win Super Bowls.
You do. And, unfortunately, we can't put him on both sides of the ball because I think he'd be elite on defense. But,
Throw my safety. I have said, I put it in our group chat when we first came back to Woodward, the very first time someone brought Goff in there, I said no one should be talking about Jared Goff in the quarterback position. The number one conversation this offseason, and this is where Lions fans, I sometimes hate them, and people that are at Woodward, all of us that talk about Jared Goff, is the number one conversation every offseason moving forward should be the defense. The number one. Yeah. The fact that people go at Jared Goff but will say positive things about Kelvin Shepard just blows my mind.
To me, that's the guy that, I don't like to target our players. I like to be Mr. Positive about the teams and all that stuff. That's why we started this network, so it isn't all doom and gloom. Now, obviously, since we've grown and added so many different thought processes and so many different people, you have the Debbie Downers on the network, which, I hate, but, we also don't want to tell people what their opinions should and could be on this network.
Yeah, it's a great mix.
It is a good
mix,
the
group chats are crazy.
But it also sucks from when we started this envisioning a positive sports network to now players being like, man, y'all switch up too much. Like, y'all, you do this stuff. And it's like, yeah, well, we have different guys with different opinions. And, I'm going to back my guy. I'm going to back Neil Rule's opinion, even if I don't agree with it. I'm going to back Braylon. I'm going to back Easy. I'm going to back all you guys.
Yep.
You guys can say whatever the hell you want on this network. But just know that players listen. GMs listen, owners listen, their families listen, and it's, to me, I want to uplift our teams because we started this when all teams were absolute dog shit. 2020 is when we started this. It was the lowest point in Detroit sports history. No teams were making the playoffs. No teams were even sniffing outside of a top 5 pick in any sport, and it's been bad, but we've grown with the Lions. We've gotten better with the Lions, and our team, our trajectory for the Lions all changed when we got Jared Goff. When Matthew Stafford went away and we got Jared Goff, this team got better. This team got better. Yeah, the chants started around the state. Amon-Ra at the draft is starting those chants. And then because people hated Jared Goff's success so much, oh, you can't chant Jared Goff at Pistons game. It's disrespectful to the Pistons. Pistons were winning 18 games that year. We should be able to, and it just showed me those kids weren't along in the 04 era, even when the Red Wings were kicking ass. Let's go Red Wings chants were busting out at every sporting event, even at Tigers games, Lions games, because those teams sucked back then. So you had something to rally on. So I get a little upset at the people who doubt Goff because, like you just said, we shouldn't even be discussing it. That's set. It's good. We're good at that position.
let's figure out the
It's
defense.
not our biggest issue. Our offense, if we want to talk offensive line, that's really the only thing we can talk about, and it's mostly because we haven't seen these guys play together, not because of the skill set. And what I'm hearing about our boy, Blake Miller, so far is that he's just an absolute monster, just a mean, nasty, club you in the head type lineman, and I can't wait to see these young guys come together this year. And all the Goff haters who said Goff needs a perfect offensive line to get it done. You know what he did last year?
I give him credit.
Great numbers with
He
2.7 seconds
well.
on an average drop back to throw.
Yeah.
2.7 seconds on an average
Most
drop back
sacks
to
he's
throw.
ever taken in his career.
Yep.
And he played well.
The numbers were MVP numbers. At the end of the day.
People bring up the Brosmer game, but it's like you look at the whole season, he balled out.
He did.
It's
the only
undeniable.
2 games was the Brosmer game and the Eagles games that he struggled. But it was like you can't expect a guy with that offensive line for 17 games to go out there
and
put MVP
and
numbers
inconsistent
up.
with the run game. Defense sucked. I get
Let's
it.
be honest.
John Morton.
Minnesota's defense and their defensive coordinator, who I would kill to have here. Like I was talking last year to go pick him up and pay him head coach money.
Yeah.
Be like, Dan, offense is yours. Defense, my man over here. Like I would do that in a minute just because I like the aggressive. I like the blitzing. I love putting pressure on the opponent.
Yep.
And that's what I feel we don't do as our defense. We're in this stupid, we got to play man-to-man. We don't have enough up front to pressure to get give the man-to-man some reprieve.
Yep.
That's where I go at Shepard, and that's the only guy that I really am hard on this team. Is because I didn't see any adjustments last year. Like, if you're a chef and you want to make something but you don't have the ingredients, you got to change the recipe, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's that simple.
He never did.
Seems like they are this year.
We talked about that for as soon as the season ended. That was something that Jeff and I were like, we actually thought Kelvin Shepard was going to get fired. And that was our side. And I don't like when guys get fired because I think, especially a year one guy, you were supposed to win a Super Bowl last year, right? And you missed the playoffs. It's hard to be like, hey, let a guy come in here and develop as a DC when you are in a playoff window.
They did it all wrong last year with their hires on OC and DC. Like, going into last year, the offense was great, right? We knew with Ben Johnson it was great. So you want to hire in-house like a Tanner and keep him in there and keep that progression going, right?
Yep.
The defense was not great, and, Glenn left. So what do? You hire somebody that was within the system that was already not great to continue that system. That's where, to me, bringing in an outsider like John Morton, even though he was a part of the tree and a part of it early on, he wasn't the guy. You keep feeding the beast on the offensive end, and then on the defensive side, that's where we needed a complete teardown and redo and reevaluation of the talent that we had in house. And for some reason, they went the opposite way. They went outside for offense and an inside for defense, and neither of them worked.
Yeah. They literally it's the opposite. That's kind of crazy.
It is. It blew my mind. Why wouldn't
that does fall on Dan Campbell?
Clearly, Dan Campbell has an eye for offensive talent.
Yeah.
He's the one who elevated Ben Johnson. Nobody else was doing that till Dan Campbell landed. He was a tight ends coach at the point when Dan Campbell got
passing
here.
coordinator.
Yeah. So and who saw the talent? Who saw the vision? Dan Campbell saw the vision.
I'm shocked they didn't go Tanner Engstrand.
So was I.
I thought that was something that Jeff said years ago. It was hey, Tanner, he's the same position as Ben, 3 years ago. And it felt like they were developing him. And he kept getting OC interviews for 2 years.
Yeah. That would have been my play. That's why I think,
especially for a head coach though, is offensive, and Calvin spoke about it today. He doesn't even worry about the I'm sure he talks to Calvin about what he wants it to look like, but he lets Calvin do it. Usually, you want a veteran guy,
right?
In that situation,
well, and that's the thing.
If Dan's coaching the offensive coordinator, I don't understand having a younger guy because Dan's with them. But for the defense, you want an adult.
Dennis Allen.
All due respect to Calvin, but someone more seasoned.
Yeah,
you know
this isn't a disrespect to Calvin, but we're to the point now where we can't have guys learning on the job.
No,
right?
No,
we saw
no,
Dan Campbell for the first 2 years learning on the job, and in some ways he still is, right? How aggressive to be, when to pull it back, when to go forward. But he's gotten so much better. But to bring in another guy where we're in prime position to make a Super Bowl, and it's you can use this team to learn on the job. It's no, we need pros in pro positions. Yep. Keep Kelvin Shepard at that underling position, and then eventually in a couple years he's ready to do it. Maybe give him a game here or two to draw up the scheme and see how it works and slowly lead him into it. But it was just nope, here you go. Here's the defense. Glenn's gone. Here you go, guy that's going to run the same thing that really didn't work for us before, and we're never going to get out of man coverage because we're so stubborn. I was at the L.A. game last year in L.A. with my best friend Wellington, And, the first
Shout out
half.
Wellington.
Yeah, shout out Wellington. First half was great, right? Lions were kicking the hell out of them. I was having fun, popping my collar, drinking some beers.
Talking that shit.
But I had to leave that stadium with my head down because we left. We just kept playing man-to-man defense when, was it Carlton Davis or I can't remember. One guy just kept getting burnt over and over.
Reed.
It was DJ Reed. It was DJ Reed over and over by Puka up the sideline.
Yeah.
Over and over by Puka up the
stop
sideline.
him.
And we didn't shift to a 3 deep. We didn't play a different style of defense. We didn't switch to a zone. And just sitting there watching yep, we're going to run man-to-man against Puka again. Yep, it's DJ Reed getting burnt again. It's like, God, if I'm seeing this from the stands, what the hell are the coaches watching?
Mm-hmm. And that's why I think it was a year too late, though, because, Kelvin, the reality of it, Kelvin's probably going to be better this year because it is his second year.
Yeah.
And now he realizes, and I think he saw the feedback. Kelvin, again, like you said, he probably watches all of our stuff. He watches all these different people talk about it, and he's like, oh, wait a second, not good, right? I needed to make adjustments. And Dan was like, hey, I'm going to step in and help out the defense. We were at the Combine. Dan spoke and was like, hey, I've been working with the defense. So I think this year he's going to be a lot better. But last year, you should have never had a first-year coordinator run that defense.
No, not when you're trying to get back to the NFC Championship, right? Not when you've already established your team. And obviously that Washington game was a disaster, right? People want to throw Jared Goff under the bus for that game. I mean, he had to do everything in his power to keep us in that game, right? Well, the offense scored, 35 points? If I told you going into any playoff game that the Lions are going to put up 35 points, would you think that they're going to win?
Game.
You would think they're going to win, right? Yeah. And, and then you look at the first turnover when all the momentum was on their side, that interception to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Well, you look at who missed the block, who forced it inside. Then the throw had to be short, and that's what caused the interception and pretty much shifted all momentum. And then Jaden Daniels, you just couldn't stop the guy. And there was, if you look back on the game, and which I've watched a couple times, unfortunately, you look back into the fourth quarter, there's an opportunity on 4th and 4, 4th and goal, to get a stop against Washington and get the ball back down 5. You don't think the Lions are going to win that game if they get that stop and get that ball back? Defense couldn't get the ball back. The defense just could not carry the load that game. And we've seen it out of Jared Goff. Yeah, he had a lot of bad plays that specific game, but we saw it against the Texans. He had 5 interceptions, but what did he do? He came back and drove down and won the damn game. That's what he does.
Comeback.
And that's what I love about my man. He can put those bad moments behind
my
him.
Man.
Yeah, dude, he's my man. I will die for Jared Goff. I will. I will fight people for Jared Goff. I will stand in front of people for Jared Goff. I will do whatever it takes because to me, he's everything I've ever wanted to see in a Detroit Lions quarterback, and he has delivered me more Detroit Lions memories in 4 years than the previous 40 that I lived on this planet. So I will never look at this guy as somebody who's bad, somebody who couldn't get it done because he has got it done. The only thing he doesn't have on his resume for us is a Super Bowl.
He needs to get one of those.
If he gets one of that, the conversation should be over. But as you know
what people will be.
They're going to hate.
Yeah.
That's just how it
he
goes.
had everything. Everything had to be perfect.
Yeah, you're damn right. It had to be perfect.
Yeah,
right. Just like last
95% of quarterbacks.
Sam Darnold needed a great defense. He needed Kenneth Walker to go out of his mind. He needed SJN to have an incredible season. This is what happens to win a Super Bowl. You need good things to happen.
It's insane that's an argument, actually.
I do want to ask you, too, the Jahmyr Gibbs stuff, because that's relevant.
Don't sign him.
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah, I don't sign running backs. I don't pay running backs.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Jeff wants to give you a hug, right?
Jeff, he's the only one that's actually said that, I think, at Woodward. And I've been on the middle. I've said just wait, let him play this year, next year, and then if you want a franchise tag, you could get 6 years out of him without an extension.
Should be able to, right?
Yeah, Jeff has been we don't sign running backs. No one ever should.
Here's where I'm at with it, and this is where it's such you got to walk a fine line with it, for me. Because I think when people hear it, they're like, you're a POS, which is fair. I understand that. I'm trying to look at this from Brad's perspective. If I'm a GM and I got all this money tied up into my offense, and my defense stinks, and you got some money into your defense, but Kirby, you got questions with Kirby and his future health. You obviously have to think about paying Brian. There's some things you want to work on, improve the defense. You just lost TA. You're going to have to get a number 2 corner at some point you're focusing on, and you don't have a lot of funds left. Why am I going to make Jahmyr the highest paid running back? And people will say, well, he's the best running back in the game. I understand that. But it's just not a smart investment for me, considering that position has got the shortest career span in the NFL. It's 2.5 years. And even if Jahmyr balls out for another couple years, I would rather allocate the money elsewhere because we just talked about it. The most important thing you need to win a Super Bowl is obviously a good enough quarterback, which the Lions have, a defense, and you need good coaching. That's what you need. And weapons help, and they have enough weapons. I just don't think another $20-ish million pumping into the offense makes a lot of sense for the Lions.
Well, and if you run through the last, 5, 6 Super Bowl winners, have they had an MVP running back? No. They've had serviceable guys that can get them yardage when needed. You know, you look at Patrick Mahomes, who everybody, praises, and Andy Reid does his thing. Like, elite running backs is not what that offense is built off of. Last year, it wasn't built off an elite running back. And, even when Matty Patty won his, it wasn't built off an elite running back, right? So that's where, to me, I look at the success of what wins you a Super Bowl. And having Christian McCaffrey on your team is great. But what has it done for the San Francisco 49ers?
Never won one. He's never won one.
Yeah, I always say the same thing. Go look at the top 10 running backs or top 5. You tell me which one has won a Super Bowl. No,
Saquon's number was low at that point.
The argument I always bring up is go look at what Saquon was making the year they won. It was $14 million.
Yeah.
Which would go rank with that. Go see where that would rank among top highest paid running backs. And now he's making legit money, and let's see where the Eagles go.
Well,
now.
And there's always going to be one exception to the rule, right? And I think that's Saquon in this situation.
Sure, and even
if
I give you that, you still look at the other examples. It's not favorable. And I'm with you. Like, running back is a position, unfortunately. And I do feel bad for running backs because it's the most replaceable, and you could get value anywhere in the draft. Those guys walk in and become great players. So I do like Gibbs. If I was the Lions, you got 2 years left on his contract. I would let this thing roll, and then if you want to franchise him again at the end, you got him for basically 6 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could franchise tag a guy up to 2 years, back-to-back years. So you could have him for 7 years?
Well, and that's the thing.
And I know he doesn't want it, and the player hates being franchise tag, and I'm sure it's going to be one of those things where he's sitting out doing that. But that's business, right?
Well, and if this was a contract year, then let's have the conversation.
It's 2 years
We're
left.
not in a contract year. We hold your rights for 2 more years. That's why I said, man. What are we doing?
Spenny was getting mad on the heavies the other day. He was crashing out. Just pay him whatever he wants. Pay him.
Right.
That's bad business.
It's terrible business because even if you were going to pay him, right, you're not just going to be like, here's 26, go on just because we like you. You have to negotiate 2, 3, 4 million. You have to negotiate.
Look what they did with Jack Campbell, right?
Yeah.
Jack
Campbell got underpaid.
He literally accepted less to be a part of
this. And he said
team.
I would do that.
Yeah, and if they would have kept him on his rookie contract and franchised him, it would have been like $25 million a year. Instead, they got him for $20 million a year. That $5 million can get you a good player, especially if you save a little bit more, $7 million here, $7 million. Like next thing you know, you're going to get another premier athlete to help you out.
But then these people, the same people, and this is what I told Spenny. I was in his chat. I said, Spenny, you do this, but you're also going to complain about extensions with other guys. You're going to complain about not getting Branch Laporta. You're going to complain about free agency. You're going to complain about all this.
I think it's
mad. You can't just be like, here's a blank check. Here you go. He has 2 years left on his deal.
The Rams went and got Myles Garrett.
You have to be able to sit there, and you have to think a little logically when it comes to it. And, he's 2 years on his deal. The Lions hold all of the leverage in the situation.
Well,
you have 2 years left.
Did until they got rid of Montgomery. That's the problem, right? You gave Jameer Gibbs the right to do this.
For 2 years.
I understand that, but you gave Jameer Gibbs the leverage to be able to hold your balls up against the fence because you let go of Montgomery, you traded him, and now Jameer Gibbs knows I am their only option. They're not going to build their team around Isaiah Pacheco. I can kind of leverage them right now. When really, I don't know if it's his agent advising him, and I guess if I'm his agent, I'm advising him to go get as much money too, because that means more money for me.
Can I throw this out? We might have some news on the show here.
Breaking news!
In the chat, I see Zap Network 31. This is the real Kirby Joseph. I got word y'all had a doctor on talking about me. We did. We did have a doctor on.
We've had multiple doctors actually in the last couple weeks.
And Kirby, when I was talking earlier about us being proponents of the teams and the players and people talking how we flip up, so one of your comments is the one I was referring to on one of our Instagram posts. And I just want you to know and the rest of the team to know we all got your back, man. We got a bunch of soldiers at Woodward Sports that would go to war for all of y'all. It's just sometimes we got guys with different opinions and some guys that get worked up. And on live TV, sometimes you say things that you don't necessarily mean. And so, Kirby, I want to apologize for any offense that we've caused towards you, but just know you got a bunch of rabid dogs here that love this team so much, and that's why they care.
He said y'all are worried about Gibbs and Goff, and y'all got fake information on here. I don't think there's fake information. I don't think we're putting fake information out. It's just basically we don't have what we have to work with at the end of the day.
Yeah. We have guests on, they give their opinion.
Hey, Kirby, you can come on and tell us what's going on.
And that's the thing, man. Come clear it up. Let's hear it from your mouth, not our Because we do talk to doctors.
Yes.
It's not like we're up here trying to be doctors.
I've always said we have what we have to work with.
Yep.
And we're going to go based off of what we have to work with. Because at the end of the day, we all want Kirby Joseph to be playing.
Oh, fuck yes, we do.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. I'm like Kirby is
It's a
essential
fact.
to this defense being great. I mean, we the Lions fans need.
That's why he got paid
Kirby
what
Joseph.
he did. Like
He's a Hall of Fame talent.
Nobody
Like,
complained about the Kirby contract because we knew Kirby's worth every single dollar when he's on the field. The problem is right now you're not on the field and we don't have information, and it's like, you keep getting, hey, the knee's this, hey, the knee's that. Okay, he can play. Okay, there's no cartilage. There's no coming back from this. So we're getting conflicting information, and, so clear it up in the chat if you don't want to come on. Just let us know, Curb, because we would love to. And, to Doc's credit, he was the doctor for the Red Wings. It's not like he's not not like he doesn't have sports knowledge and understand that type of anatomy and what you're going to have to do. So getting Doc on here talking about you, man, it's really just us trying to figure out what we're not getting.
Yeah, we got to.
Kirby said, "I'm right here." Kirby, we could send you a link.
Yeah,
come on
we'll
the
send
show.
you a VMix link.
Well, we can figure this thing out here. We're not trying to hide. We're trying to figure this. We want you to be on the field, please, just as much as you want to be on the field.
If I could give you my knees, bro, I would.
You could promote Zap Network. Go ahead and throw it out there. We'll give you a platform to promote that, man.
Let us know.
But yeah, no, we're rooting for you, Kirby. We need you, bro.
Yeah.
Lions need you. They do. This defense needs you. We just talked about the defense for 30 minutes.
God, if this defense could match the offense, I guess not even match. If the defense could get into a top 10, it's a Super Bowl. We're Super Bowl bound.
I've said if they're healthy, fully healthy, if the Detroit Lions defense is healthy and they're playing at their best, the D line and that front seven is a top 10 in the league. Mm-hmm. You get Brian Branch and Kirby healthy, they're back.
Dude,
this defense
those two in the
is
back.
top 10 at the end of the day. It's just the question about health. That's what it comes down to.
And unfortunately, we all have PTSD now with health situations as Lions fans, right? Because we were so close.
Years.
We saw it, we were so close to touching it, and then injuries just took it all away. Even Dan Campbell, going into last season, mentioned how he had a little PTSD going into training camp about all the injuries and how they're going to handle it. And you see it this year in training camp, not doing the dual practices, pulling things back, playing the starters a little bit more in the preseason is what he plans on doing. So he's already talked about how he's trying to make the adjustments to get it right under our eyes.
Yeah, even he's Kirby's in there. He says, "You remember broad name, Dr. Pierce."
Dr. Pierce.
I'm talking about the doctor.
Yeah, that's he says everything is in God's hand. God's hands. He has all.
Unless he's talking about the doctor we had.
About Dr. Jimmy.
I think he's talking about Jimmy
Liao.
Last week.
Oh, yeah. Well, you actually quote tweeted him, Kirby.
Yeah,
on Twitter.
That's the reason we had him on. By the way, is because you quote tweeted him, Kirby. So we're like, all right, we need to get and again. It's up. We would have Jimmy on, would have you on. Whoever wants to come on to talk about it. We're just basically going based off of the information that's out there.
But let's be clear, Kirby. We all want you on the field. We all think that you are one of the most elite players that we've ever had don a Lions uniform, especially in that defensive back end like this. We want you, bro. Everybody here is rooting for you, and we hope that you get better and get on the field as soon as possible. And all the information we get from docs, you're right. They don't have your x-rays. They're not in the clinical meetings with you and your team doctors and stuff like that. So we're trying to do our best to actually get technical people who are doctors in their field instead of us meatheads just being like, Kirby's knees hurt. Hey. We want to get the information correct. So appreciate you hopping in the chat and guiding us on this too.
Yeah, good luck with everything, Kirby, man. It is in God's hands. We're praying for you because we need you on the field, brother.
He said he never heard of him.
He said he was talking to me and he gave me advice on my knee and some more.
I don't know who said
that. I don't know.
Yeah, that I can't speak on that.
Now, Kirby, I had arthroscopic knee surgery on both my knees in high school, and I got the old story. If it wasn't for my injuries, I probably could have gone further in football and stuff because I had some offers on the table and whatnot. But I had to have surgery on both my knees, and I still deal with cartilage issues. And I've done the shots underneath the kneecap with the chicken embryo and all the stuff that they try to smooth things out. I've had it scoped out. I've had it cleared out. And I get it, man. To play at that level, and I also tell people, I'm kind of glad my sports dream got taken from me earlier in that aspect because once I see real athletes out there and how hard these guys go at each other, I don't know if my body could have handled that down the road. But, I'm a big 6'4" guy. I can run pretty fast. I can jump pretty high. I'm pretty athletic. So I had a shot, but no. That's why I empathize for you and your knees, man. I know when your body wants to do something and your brain is telling it to, but your body just can't respond, shit sucks.
And by the way, Curb, the doctor we had on.
We said both doctors.
Yeah, well, I'll give you both. Jimmy Liao, Jimmy Liao. He's on Twitter. I mean, you quote tweeted him. You can contact him directly, and then Dr. Pierce, Dr. Jeff Pierce.
Dr. Jeff Pierce, yes.
So those are the two.
Kirby, whatever. I don't know. We don't know what doctor.
I don't know what doctor you're referring to or what video.
Tell us what doctor we should be talking to, and we'll get him on.
Yeah,
hey, Kirby, whatever you need from us, just let us know. We need you on the field. We want you on the field.
Yep.
You and Brian Branch in the secondary, we need it.
Let's take a break. We'll take a quick break. We'll do the ad reads when we come back from break, Caleb. So we'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Stick with us. We'll do mailbag when we come back. Drop the mailbag questions. Kirby, you can participate too. Hang in the chat, man.
What's
we
wrong
appreciate
with
you.
y'all from Kirby?
We'll see you guys in a couple minutes.
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that.
Don't just survive, thrive.
Some days call for light, others lean bold. What about everything in between? All Day IPA, the easy choice for every day. Citrusy, crisp, refreshing. Flavor you can float with. Light on the hops, big on refreshment. One's great. Two, even better. Brewed with you in mind. No shortcuts, no fuss. Big on flavor, never too much. All Day IPA. Hop into easy.
It's game on at Art and Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art and Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Dan Campbell is in redemption mode.
No, make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
And Woodward Sports is here to cheer on the Detroit Lions every snap. Don't miss a moment of Detroit Lions coverage. Follow Woodward Sports on all social media platforms now.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
All right, let me tell you guys about Thrive energy pouches. Guys, I use these every single day. Get rid of all the energy drinks, all the other different energy things, guys. Get Thrive. It has over 300 milligrams of energy and caffeine in every single pouch that you get. It's not like a dip or anything like that. It's just a pouch you can throw in. You can find them at dipstop.com, guys. You can get 15% off your entire order. Just go to type in the code WSN, and you can get that off. That's how I get mine. Make sure you guys check out Thrive.
And let me tell you about our friends over at Loom, because if you're dealing with anything and you need something to kind of chill out and relax, you got summer, you got nice weather, Loom's got all the products. And they're all great products. We were at a golf outing a couple weeks ago for Calvin Johnson's golf outing. We talked to the CEO at Loom, offered us a bunch of products, and I have the big one right here for you that I'm going to tell you about, because it's the Buzz and Energy, which, by the way, tried these puppies. They got some kick to them. All right, and they're absolutely delicious. You don't even know you're drinking them. 7.5 milligrams of THC, 100 milligrams of caffeine. So you're getting both the buzz and the energy in one with Buzz and Energy. So shout out to our friends at Loom, as always, for sponsoring the network. Let's get back to it. We got more to get to, obviously mailbag time, so drop those questions. And we still got Kirby in there. Shout out Kirby. He's saying, okay, Jeff Pierce got to run his info by me. Yeah, I mean, Kirby, we would love to get a chance to talk to you, bro, so you can kind of fill in the fans on your
tomorrow.
side.
We'll send you a link.
Promote Zap Network, and let's make it happen.
12:30 tomorrow, Kirby.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Pierce was on today. We're at the Athletes Unlimited golf outing, and he was on the show today, and he was giving his advice about just his opinion about Kirby Joseph's knees. So I think that's probably what you're referring to, Kirby. But hey, man, if you want to hit him up, you find him on social media. He's all over the place. I mean, we'll talk to him. We'll see him today, so we can mention him too.
Yeah. He did.
And apparently, you're going to tell Jared Goff that Stick loves him. So he is fulfilled now. Stick got his wish. Oh, that is hilarious. Let's see. Let's get some mailbag questions. Curb also says, "Who the hell is Jeff Pierce?" Scroll through the beginning of the show.
Yeah, we did have one on the show
at the beginning. That's who Jeff Pierce is. That's and by the way, he was just giving his professional opinion. I don't think he said. If he did say more than that, though, I can't speak on that. I don't know. If he did say more than that, you could address him. You can find him on social media. It's all over the place there. Jesse, mailbag Booner, on a scale from 1 to 10, do you think this Tigers team will make the playoffs? 2, when do you guys talk about college football?
Playoffs for the Tigers. Listen, they're 2.5 back right now from the wild card. It depends. I guess 6 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock right now. We got 5 hours until the trade deadline. If Casey Mize is still available, Gleyber Torres. It depends, I guess, what this looks like. Hey, I did cash out the playoff bet because no Skubal, but I still think that there's a chance this team can make a run. I think they have a good young team, man. They have some dudes on this team with Riley Green. Max Clark looked incredible, by the way, this weekend. He looked insane. So I think Max is a really, really good piece that they've added on. So, yeah, I think they're going to push. Are they going to win in the playoffs? Who knows, because you don't have your ace anymore, but you still have a good lineup, man. And the college football, we'll talk college football. What is it? It's August 3rd right now.
Yep.
Probably next week or the week after we'll start talking college ball, man. I'm excited. I'm fired up for college football this year. It starts in about 3 weeks.
Dude, I just can't get over Curry just going off in the chat, dude. I mean, this is just hilarious.
I love it. I love that Kirby's in the chat.
I mean, he's in there just frying people, man. That is awesome. I love that.
Jesse Adams says, give me a number. Is that about the Tigers?
Hey, by the way, real quick, I do want to say, Caleb did say last week you listened to some of Curb's music.
You liked it.
Yeah,
he said
I
it was banging.
Kirby,
I'm a fan of your music.
Our TD over here is a big fan of your music.
I'm a big fan of your work. On the field and off the field. Great song.
He said he was bumping it, so I got to check it out.
Kirby, I call him Zap Network.
Zap Network.
Zap Network said he is a spine doctor. My problem is my knee. I think I could be wrong on this. I believe he was a doctor for the Red Wings for about 20 years back when they were. Yeah, so he does everything, Kirby. That's just me. I'm not again. I don't know what's going on. I'm just.
Yeah, you shut up, dude.
Yeah, I'm just here, man. I don't know. I have no opinion on knees, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I legit, Kirby, I have no clue about knees.
Yeah, we just want you on the field, bro. So.
I haven't been an athlete in about 20 years. I just like talking ball.
And by the way, go subscribe to Zap Network. Everyone in the chat, like if you're not already subscribed, he's trying to build his YouTube up, and we got to get this thing going. I mean, he's at we got to get this man to like 1,000 subs. He's already grown a couple subs. Get this man to 1,000 subs. Everyone who's watching, who watches the stream, post stream as well, like check out Zap Network, man. Check out his music. Let's see. I see some mailbags in there. Bart says mailbag trade Mize for Andrew Fisher, third base from the Brewers. Well,
I'm on the keep Mize train, man. I really am.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious of what they do with him, to be honest with you. I am. And I think Tigers fans are waiting on that, for sure.
Also, by the way, too, with Kirby in the chat, can we get Kirby in a Kool-Aid chug, please, video? Kirby?
He's going to be playing.
I mean, but like a video. My vision for the Kool-Aid chugs have always been to get players to send me videos being like, drink the Kool-Aid, and then I do my Kool-Aid chug. That's been my envisionment.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Let's make it happen.
That'd be sick.
We appreciate you guys so much. Curb in the chat, we appreciate you, bro, for tapping in, hanging out. Everyone go subscribe to Kirby's channel, man, Zap Network.
Super.
Hey, Kirby, super. Confirmed tomorrow, 12:30, we'll have you on the show. We'll send you the link.
Yeah, we'll send you the link. We'll chop it up. You can correct all that info.
Everything.
You say the BS with the doctors. Let's make it happen, bro. Let's have a chat. Jeff Iafrate, Booner, Caleb Czarnik. We're here at the Oak Point Country Club for Athletes Unlimited with Dr. Pierce, who Kirby will be addressing to get the facts straight. We'll be back tomorrow, 11 to 1 p.m. Curb, let's make something happen, bro. We want you healthy. Hope everything goes well with you. It's in God's hands. Want you back on the field. Hall of Fame talent right there. Kirby Joseph. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Guys. Shout out everyone.
Until then, peace.
The next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The Young Guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.